ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau,
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year two pom-pom people.
Casey Kurtz,
Yo! But what are we doing, bro? Come on!
and Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Everybody else already saw the Bills.
Hey, we'll get back to Brent in just a second when he figures out that connection. But it is Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Brent's sounding a bit robotic. He'll work on that connection. But you don't got to worry about that. We'll get to him here in just a second. We got Casey Kurtz with you once again on ESPN 690. It's Victory Monday. We got the boy Aaron Schachter as well. Aaron, how we doing?
How's it going, man?
Thriving, surviving.
Maybe not as you planned, but
Yeah.
It's Victory Monday. Who cares how it's going?
I'll give you that. And what a Victory Monday we had. We started off with Monday Morning Madness right here on ESPN 690. Me and Brian Middleton held it down for you with no problems. And now we roll into this show. We'll get back with Brent in just a second. But Aaron Schachter, you had a double win weekend. Not only did the Jags win, the Jets win as well.
Nobody cares about my Jets. Come on, man. Let's go. 4 wins in 2 years, and then to put up the shutout against the Colts. Does it get better than that?
It does not get better than that. And I guess we'll start there where I started this morning. A shutout. That does not happen. That is not something that happens in this league.
No.
And they did it. They did it to a team that's cursed here in Jacksonville. Matt Ryan looked old. Matt Ryan looked bad.
You're being nice.
They looked a whole lot of things. Jonathan Taylor could not get anything going for this team, or for the Indianapolis Colts, I should say, and they dominated him. They continue to dominate him. We talked about it earlier this morning, but Jonathan Taylor and the Jags doesn't mix well for Jonathan Taylor. He continues to struggle against Jacksonville. He's done it for the most part of his career, and those struggles continued again yesterday. He had nowhere to run, and they kind of abandoned it after the first half because they were down by so much.
Yeah, they kind of had to, right? Down to, what was it, 17-0, I think, going into halftime. The Colts pretty much abandoning the entire offensive strategy. I mean, usually they're relying on Jonathan Taylor, whether it's out of the backfield running the ball or kind of out of the flats catching the ball, and they just had to stop. The problem was they didn't have anyone else to throw to.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, look at Brent back. Everything sounds delicious now.
Now it sounds good. Move the thing 5 feet, and there you go. I just
go.
told these guys, I was like, sometimes you just got to move it 5 feet. And I did. Literally moved it 5 feet.
That's
Not
like
even.
That's like the equivalent to banging on it real hard, right?
Yes, that's it. Unplug when something doesn't work. We
go.
didn't even have to do that part. All right.
You can be IT
hey,
around here.
I got good news. The golf tournament went smoother than that start for me.
Yeah, I was
so
going
there
to
we
say,
go.
man. I'm hearing great things.
Yeah, very good. But I want to talk football. We'll talk golf tournament a little bit later on. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz, and the Jags, man, I mean, that was as dominant. I've been here 15 years. That was as dominant of a 3/4 of play that you can get. I mean, it really was. And I'm not sure what more they could have done, quite frankly. I mean, put together a 15-play drive, a 92-yard drive. They turn them over. They sack them. They dominate the game. They control Jonathan Taylor. I mean, 5 carries for 4 yards. Just get in a fantasy league with Jonathan Taylor, Brent, and then the Jags will stop him. That's it.
Is that what happened? You had Jonathan Taylor on your roster?
Well, you know we do the Devoli's House of Cards thing I was mentioning?
Yeah.
Well, I did 2 different. One time you can use like this the super flex, they call it. And so you can use the same player twice if you draw the card twice. I drew Jonathan Taylor twice. And so I used him twice, and he gave me 5 carries and 4 yards.
Oh, no.
But I don't care. Hey, that's good for the Jags, man.
We were talking, it's so funny. We were talking on Friday about Jonathan Taylor, and even in losses, how he rushes for over 100 yards. Jags just got to keep him over 120. Well, see how that went.
Amazing. I mean, listen, we all saw it. We know it. A lot of people are talking about it. We just spent the day with a lot of folks that seemed like there's a little pep in the step, That's what people want to see. I think now you marry that with last week and the disappointment. What you now know is, right, what do we know about the Jacksonville Jaguars? Well, we know that they have some talent. They have talent. Like, they've got guys that can make plays. We think Christian Kirk's really good. Trevor Lawrence still has a lot to go, probably, but we know he's good and got some talent. James Robinson, and probably haven't seen enough of ETN yet to kind of go into this conversation, but we've seen splashes. And then on the other side of the ball, I mean, you're starting to see both rookies with interceptions. Josh Allen is off to a heck of a start. And Rashean Jenkins plays his best football game of his career in Jacksonville. It's been a short career in Jacksonville. But, I mean, they have some players. They're not going to shut everybody out. I mean, we don't know if their defense is that good, but their defense we also know is opportunistic. That's 6 turnovers. They had 9 all last year. And then one more thing, guys, and I think this is the story of the day in Jacksonville, and you guys don't have to agree. But the Jacksonville Jaguars have themselves a good head coach.
Oh, man.
He's good.
It seems undeniable even just 2 games into the season, doesn't it?
I mean, that's my overriding thought here coming off this game. And really, I thought Doug did a nice job in week 1. And then the other side of that is if you watch the video the Jaguars shared on social media with him getting the game ball, don't you know that these guys like him? Like they like him. I'm not sure they're reacting. They're reacting because they win, right? They want to win. But I think they really like and respect Doug Peterson, and they believe in what he's teaching and saying. And you know why? Because he's got a Lombardi trophy. He played in the league. He's coached before. So, I mean, I get the sense. To me, this is all about Doug Peterson right now in Jacksonville. And the Jaguars have themselves a good coach and a guy that can out-coach the other guy on the other sideline. And that's exactly what happened on Sunday, Aaron. I mean, it was brilliant display of coaching.
That's where it is, too. It's like when you win, it's kind of easy to like the guy leading you there as long as he's not a complete catastrophe a la Urban Meyer. Not that Meyer was winning much of anything. But let's say Doug Peterson was just a regular mediocre guy or even not the greatest guy. You're coming in here and winning like he did yesterday and keeping him in the game like basically like they did against the Commanders, then, yeah, you got a nice opinion of the guy. But he seems genuinely liked by this team, and you definitely, if you're a Jags fan, have the utmost confidence that the guy on your sidelines is either just as good, if not better, than the guy coaching the team across from you.
Well, you also know this, okay, about Peterson. We know he's going to go for it on 4th down.
Oh, my God, every time.
Yeah, we weren't surprised when he did it right at midfield, right?
Yeah,
He's going to take some of those chances. I think a little bit of that is Jags are playing with a nothing-to-lose kind of mentality. Nobody expects anything out of them. But I don't think that's all this. I think he's going to do that anyway. I mean, the 4th down later in the game to Christian Kirk, that made more sense. I think almost every coach would have gone for that. You're already up 17-0. They would have to drive all the way down the way your defense is playing. But the one at midfield early, I mean, listen, is the game different if they don't convert that? And then say the Colts go down and either score or kick a field goal, right?
Yeah.
So it could be a lot different. So him going for it, them executing it, and the pitch and catch yesterday was tremendous. And they stuck to their game plan. I told Casey this morning, and Brian Middleton this morning on Monday Morning Madness when I called in. I think it's hard for a coach, and what I found out not a coach, a quarterback, a young one at that, who has a big arm, to just take what they give you. Like, that sounds easy. But I bet it's hard to do that 25 times instead of taking – and actually, we saw Trevor take a couple shots, and it almost turned into interceptions. Those were some dangerous throws. But I talked to the receivers in the locker room. They're like, man, we want to go down the field and go make big plays. So it took a team effort to buy into the game plan. And I think that shows a maturity about the football team. But I think it also says we believe in what our coach is preaching. And if he tells us to do this, we think it gives us the best chance to win.
Anyway, I don't know what happened there, but I guess Brent's up and walking around, Aaron Schachter, so I guess we will have to hold it down.
Now I can hear you. How about that? Couldn't hear you. Could you hear me?
No.
Well, here we go again, huh? All right, how about this? How about we take a timeout here on Action Sports Jacks and Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. We get some of that. I'm going to move around a little bit so we get in a better spot. It is raining now, so I wonder if that's playing a little bit of a role. But I was on a roll, so let's get it back up and jumping. Maurice Jones-Drew's going to call in here in a bit from out west. He's got to be excited about the Jags' performance. and then Rashean Mathis in the 4 o'clock hour as well. And your thoughts, if you want to jump in or you have a thought or two or a question for Mojo or Rashean, share them with us on the social media, and hopefully we can get to those as well. Got to be an exciting day in Jacksonville. Enjoy them when they happen. They've been few and far between. Number 5 over the last 3 seasons, the Jags get the W, and they're 500 in first place in the AFC South. We'll be right back from Southampton right after this.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A mix of sun and clouds today. Have an umbrella nearby. There'll be more scattered showers at times. An isolated thunderstorm with highs in the mid-80s, dropping to near 70 tonight and partly sunny tomorrow. Just an isolated shower. It'll be hotter. We reach the upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jags.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys. No markups, no retail gains, and never a commission.
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain. QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Childhood cancer does not discriminate, and 43 children are diagnosed every day in the United States. This is Tom Coughlin, and the J Fund needs your help year-round. Find out how you can help the J Fund by visiting tcjfund.org.
It's going to be a busy month at Best Bet Orange Park. The Greater Orange Park Open Tournament is back. This $500 no-limit hold'em tournament will be happening on Saturday, September 24th, with $120 satellites starting on September 21st. With plenty of parking and a safe and friendly environment, you'll see why Best Bet Orange Park was awarded the Best of Play in event, entertainment, and sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekend. Best Bet Orange Park.
Tobacco-Free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone, and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music.
I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you never come back to smoke. I'll never come back to smoke. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Ready to swoop in the fall of 2022? The UNF Ospreys are ready with a lot of momentum on campus. New improvements at UNF Arena with basketball season right around the corner and tickets already on sale. The fall schedule underway in volleyball and men's and women's soccer, also men's and women's cross country. Get the latest news, schedules, results, and information on tickets for all things Ospreys at UNFospreys.com. Join the Osprey Club, attend a game or a match. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida right now at UNFospreys.com.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 904-664-8214.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Is your digital marketing strategy keeping you up at night? Do you have more questions than answers? CMG Local Solutions can help you take all the guesswork out of digital marketing. Let CMG Local Solutions create the best marketing plan for your global, regional, or local business. CMG Local Solutions has the right tools to fit your business's marketing needs.
Learn more at cmglocalsolutions.com/Jacksonville. That's cmglocalsolutions.com/Jacksonville.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
Hey, welcome back here to Brent and Friends from Southampton, where it's now raining a little bit, but it waited until the Dream 18 golf tournament is over, and we appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for being a part of the Dream 18 here today. We raise money for St. Michael's Soldiers and also North Florida Junior Golf Foundation, and everybody here at Southampton. We appreciate them for all they do and have done for our Dream 18 over the years. Been great friends to our event. And we got it done. We got it in. And now we're talking about a Jags win. How about that? That is a lot of fun. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, Aaron Schachter, battling, guys. Battling through some adversity today. But that's okay. We get a win, and it makes everything feel better. I said we. I hate saying we, but I meant the city.
Doesn't it feel like
town,
it, though? Doesn't it feel like the town has been invested so hard and so long? It's like we all worked for it.
Yeah, true. We have worked for it around here. We've got, you just feel, I think that is it too, right? And, in our profession, you're not supposed to have pom-poms on, but I mean, let's be honest, we do sometimes. I need the narrative to change. Like, we want to talk about something different. And you really feel for all the people that have endured so many losses. I mean, it's enjoyable when they get the win. Thank goodness for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man.
I think they should play them all the time.
They cured all the ailments.
Now, this is a guy that went nuts on the Colts one time, too. I saw Josh Scobie today, 59-yard field goal. He did, too. But the person I'm talking about, along with Fred Taylor, is Maurice Jones-Drew, and he joins us on a Victory Monday here, Mojo. We can't give you the day off, man, on a Victory Monday. Instead, we got to talk about a win finally. Thanks for jumping in with us.
Yeah, listen, I just heard a little bit of what you guys are talking about. I don't think it could have been any other team. I think the Jags would have still played really well. We talked about last week how they were trending forward, and now you can kind of see this defense tightening up and the offense being more explosive. And Brent, we were texting yesterday and how they were using their weapons. They utilized their weapons on both sides of the ball, which I think is what is the key to success and the key to winning a lot of games.
Maurice, I want to jump in with something that I just said I think is the biggest story coming out of this game in maybe the first 2 weeks. I think the Jags have themselves a really good football coach. I think Doug Peterson showed his offense last week and his design, and things were open, and people started complaining a little bit about the run-pass differential. But there are a lot of 2-minute situations. You break down the numbers. I don't think that was as big a story. And maybe what I liked most about Doug is he was unapologetic. He was like, listen, I got this, all right? And he was more 50-50 yesterday, but that was because they had a big lead, I think. But the design, the game plan, the execution of the game plan, and then when he got the game ball, you could tell this team liked him. I think the Jaguars have a chance when they go in on Sunday's Mojo to outcoach the other team. That hasn't always been the case in recent years.
Well, I think he's just very creative, and I think that's the first thing you want to be when you're an offensive coordinator, right? You see Christian Kirk in the backfield a little bit. You have two backs. I mean, they're just utilizing their personnel, and you're starting to see that with these young geniuses or these younger coaches that are out there. He's putting guys in position to get in space, right, where there's not 8 guys in the box or one guy's getting double teamed. And so Trevor Lawrence is playing faster, which means that he's understanding the game plan more and he's more confident in it, and the other guys are as well. And it's always good to have James Robinson breaking off big runs like that as well. So when you start to get this thing flowing and you start to see the Jags have a ton of young pieces, a ton of really good young pieces, as you'll see them grow. But I think right now, the time is now. You know, and I'm going to say this here, the AFC South is down. And I think the Jags have a great chance of going from worst to first in their division and possibly hosting a playoff game. But they have to continue to grow and keep playing better.
Maurice, you talked a little bit about James Robinson. It was nice to see some pop from James. Did Travis Etienne's play give you any concern at all?
No, not at all. Again, you know, it's funny because I remember my rookie year, it took me about 3 to 4 games until I can really start getting in the groove of things, right? Even with preseason, even in the practices, the game has to slow down a little bit for me. So I think you'll see a couple more games, and then you'll start to see him burst. But for that right now, you have James to kind of take that slack up until he goes. I still think they're trying to be creative, getting him the ball in space as well. And so you have a lot of space guys. And so it may take a couple more games, it may take 3 or 4 more games, 5. It doesn't matter. You have guys that can take it up as long as they stay healthy, right? So imagine having Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram, all being able to be interchangeable in the inside, with James Robinson being able to run the ball as well with those guys on the outside. That's a tough match to deal with anyone. And so I just think as long as they continue to be creative and allow Etienne the time to kind of grow in the game and let it do organically, not rush him, right? Not try to force him to be something like, oh, you got to do this, and that. Just let it come naturally to him. I think he'll turn around and you'll see a big burst and a big jump from here very soon.
Maurice Jones-Drew with us here on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. I want to ask you a little bit about the running game yesterday because it wasn't unbelievable, Mojo. I mean, they just kept using it, and they would only get a yard, get stuffed, get 2, get a couple of important yards, and then you've done this before. Keep giving it to me, because then that moment is coming, and you've got to stick with it. But a lot of people won't stick with it when it's not showing up, and I wondered if Doug would, but sooner or later, Mojo, they break, don't they?
They always do. They always do. And I think that's one of my favorite things about Doug Peterson. Early in the process, when the Jags were looking for coaches and his name came out, the one thing that if you watch the Philadelphia Eagles, they ran the football. They might have ran it out of unconventional sets, something that I'm not used to, but they ran the football. They found ways to run the ball, and he tries to get 30 carries or 30 runs in a game. And so for me, that's what the Jags need. Now, it's not like I said, not accustomed to me being in the eye and in the home position. Now they're more out of gun and different things. But as long as you're forcing the defense to fit the run, they have to respect that. It'll allow your passing game to open up, and then eventually they'll misfit it, as we saw this weekend, and then you'll get a big run. And then once it breaks, then all hell breaks loose. Now you got guys complaining and yelling and all type of things. So I was really happy to see them kind of stick with the running game. I was happy to see them use some play action pass and also be explosive off of that as well. It all goes hand in hand. I always try to, as a coach, to put the play action pass with the running stats, because again, if you can't run the ball, your play action pass doesn't work anyway. So you trying to run the ball and continue to run the ball regardless if it's working or not, the play action pass should open up, and those yards should go to the running game, to be honest.
Yeah, and Maurice, I want to ask you this one. You got a budget of 100%. We were talking a little bit about some of the creativity that comes from Doug Peterson. Clearly, to me at least, it seemed like the wide receivers, or really all of the passing targets, were open on almost every play. It's almost like Trevor had a choice of where he was going with it. How much of that do you put on the play calling? How much of that do you put on the route running, which looked to be really superior from our wideouts? And how much of that do you put on the play of the Indianapolis Colts secondary and coverage teams?
Well, I would say that's kind of tough to put out there. I mean, obviously, when you're dealing with Gus Bradley and what he wants to run, he's going to either play man-to-man, a little sprinkle in a little cover 2 or cover 3, right? So you can have concepts to get guys open. So I would say for the play calling, I'd probably give it like 50%, right? Because, again, you got to put your guys in position. You got to practice. They have to understand. They have to know where Trevor's trying to go with the ball, where the play caller wants to go with the ball. From there, I'll go 30% with the receivers of reading the right coverage, running the right routes, getting to where you need to be. People, I don't know if a lot of our fans understand this, but the passing game, which makes it so tough to handle sometimes when you're in your play, you see these really good teams, the receiver and the quarterback are on the same page all the time, right? And again, that's why I said 50% with the play caller. But also the receivers have to see the defense the same way that Trevor sees it. They have to see cover 2 the same way that he sees cover 2. They have to see man-to-man same way that he sees man-to-man. And I think, again, that's the 30% for the receivers of seeing that coverage and that defense that they're going against and finding ways to get open. And then the last bit, I would say the last 20% is to the Colts, right? If you're playing man-to-man, if you're in cover 2 and you're not supposed to allow certain routes, that's on you guys. And so I think it's more of the Jags than it is the Colts, but the Colts DBs definitely helped out in this game.
Maurice Jones-Drew with us here on Brent and Friends. Joins us on Mondays in the 3 o'clock hour. Maurice, what are the Colts thinking right now, man? I mean, the Jags are in their head here in Jacksonville, and now, gosh, this might be a matchup problem the way they beat them, even going up there in another month or so. We'll see. Obviously, they're not going to thump them like they did. There'll be some changes, and Indy will be at home. But I don't know what the Colts could be thinking. They tie Houston. They lose to Jacksonville in that fashion. Frank Reich lost 2 games at the end of last year, so he's lost 4 in a row in very disappointing fashion. They must be scratching their heads a little bit inside that building in Indiana.
Well, I mean, first of all, I picked them to be one of the guys that go into the playoffs and have a deep run.
Yeah, you weren't alone.
Playoffs. It's just not working right now. I mean, right, I think they're down both tackles, or they're down some offensive linemen, I think. At the end of the day, man, they're just not playing well. They're not able to run the ball the way they want to. I would say Jonathan Taylor had 1 or 2 decent runs, not what we're used to seeing from him. So if your running game's not working, your passing game needs to go. They didn't have Pittman. So I think it'll be a little bit different. But, yeah, they're definitely in for a cause of concern. I mean, their owner's coming out talking about, we got to figure it out and blah, blah, this and that. I wish he wouldn't say, the Jags are the worst team in the league, because obviously they beat you guys, which makes you guys the worst team in the league. But that's just me talking my talk. I think they have a lot of things they have to fix, but it starts with running the ball. If they can't run the football, their whole team is predicated off of Jonathan Taylor being the guy. And if he can't be the guy, or he can't go out there and play the way he's accustomed to playing, then that offense stinks, and then obviously puts a lot of pressure on their defense.
I'm just looking at the scores from week
Jonathan
1.
Taylor, a little more on him.
I was going to say, Brian, I was just looking at the scores from week 1, looking at the scores from week 2, and it's so heartening to see this Jags offense was able to really build yesterday. The biggest point differential on this young season, 2022, 2 weeks in, belongs to the Jacksonville Jaguars in that win over the Colts. Week 1, you saw the Chiefs win by 23 against the Cardinals, but the Jaguars now with that distinction 2 weeks into the season. It's got to make Jags fans really happy.
No, I definitely think it does. It's funny because you have to have that instinct of putting your foot on the opponent's neck, right? And it's always tough to do that in the NFL. I call the Rams games. The Rams were up by, I want to say, 28-3 at one point against the Falcons, and everyone was, nervous. And I remember in the broadcast saying, hey, you have to go down and score one more time, right? Just because you're up 25 doesn't mean this team can't come back. You have to find a way to finish them. Both on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. The Rams didn't do it, and then the Falcons came roaring back. I think the one thing that our fans need to appreciate, and everyone else should, is that they didn't allow the Colts to come back, right? They didn't allow the Colts to have a touchdown drive or a scoring drive for that matter. They put their foot on their throat, and they kept pressing, even in some of those offensive series where it didn't look the best, they were still attacking. And that's what you want to be. And that's a sign of your head coach. That's what Doug Peterson is. He's an aggressive coach. He wants to continue to attack the down to go score points. And so I think that's something that we have to really hold and understand, is that there's so many good teams in the National Football League. To shut out an NFL team is pretty much, especially with the rules, is almost you shouldn't do that.
It just doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't happen. But the fact that they didn't allow them any points, right? 3, lets you know that they're still, their mindset is we have to play all the way through 4 quarters and play aggressively 4 quarters, and that's what you're looking for. And that's what they did, and that's something you can build off of for next week.
All right, speaking of next week, do they have a chance against the Chargers? And I say chance, of course, everybody's got a chance. It's the NFL. But Maurice Jones-Drew, I mean, this is a team that has some firepower now. A lot of people think they're a favorite. They're banged up a bit, who we don't know yet about Justin Herbert, but Herbert's really good. They've been cooking for a few years now and building towards something. I just don't know if the Jags and their development going out west as always, I feel like they might be a little outclassed in this game on paper. That doesn't mean they can't win, but they're going to be heavy underdogs in this one against the Chargers. Can they pull the upset in a place really they've struggled so much over the years in California?
Well, I think this is a different team. I think Doug Peterson has had success going to the West Coast with the Eagles. So he has a certain way that he wants to go about it and handle things. I will say this. I had the injury that Justin Herbert has. It is not a comfortable injury. Now, if you're tough enough and you take modern medicine, you can play with that injury, but your body doesn't feel – you don't feel like there's a chink in the armor, if that makes sense. And so as we saw, he couldn't even run on one play, and then he mustered up enough energy and I guess pain tolerance to throw a strike down the middle of the field. So if you're the Jags, you understand that. Like, listen, you got to go out there, you got to play physical, you got to be around them, you got to touch them when you get your opportunities. So you got to go sack them, you got to get pressure on them. And the other part is this: the Chargers all forever. And I mean, this is going to sound crazy, but they're going to charge. They're going to do what they do, right? And so if you can put enough pressure on them, like last year, going against the Raiders, they didn't tie the game, right? They lost it on a field goal. For some reason, they tend to have breakdowns. Last year, they lost to the Houston Texans in Houston, right? So they have those lapses, and maybe this is another week that they have that lapse. But even if they don't, I think the Jaguars are talented enough to put pressure on both this team offensively and defensively, with their pass rush, right, defensively, and with the way their linebackers are playing stopping the run. But then also offensively with the creativity to try to get a hold, make sure Khalil Mack is out of there and Joey Bosa take care of them, not only just with the tackles, but the way you line up in your formations, the way you run the ball. And then taking advantage of some matchups. They have some guys banged up on the back end. I know J.C. Jackson played, and he has a longer week, but he's still coming off of ankle surgery. And I think you could take advantage of some of these things they have out there. Asante Samuel Jr. is another good corner that they have. But, again, I think if you can line Christian Kirk up on their third corner on a safety, you have a great matchup. And then Evan Ingram's still a matchup problem, right? So you have weapons, just like you did against the Colts. You have to utilize those weapons on all sides of the ball. And if you do that, I think you have a great opportunity to win. I think this Jags team too, Brent, this is not like the Jags team. We're like, this is a different team. This is a different coaching staff. This is a different mindset. They believe they can go in and win any game, anywhere, and that's a great mindset to have.
Let's stop down for a second and talk injury a little bit more, just because this Justin Herbert thing could end up being a pretty serious deal. I don't necessarily believe in too many coincidences. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor had a similar situation happen to him in San Diego, and it was the day that Herbert hurt himself that we learned Tyrod Taylor now suing the San Diego organization, their team doctor, for the work he did for malpractice. You don't have to name names, Mojo, but have you ever been injured throughout your career and you had to consider what the team doctor was telling you? Did it ever give you a pause and make you think maybe I need a little outside help here?
Well, you always are supposed to do that. You're always supposed to go and get a second opinion. Obviously, when I hurt my foot, I got a second opinion. It went the same with the team doctor. Eventually, it didn't heal the way I needed it to heal, so I had to get surgery. I wish I would have just got surgery earlier than later in that situation. But you always should go out and get a second opinion. I mean, again, let's be honest. The team doctor works for the team, and what's best for the team is to get you out there playing to as close to 100% as possible. So again, like I said, I played with that same injury that Justin Herbert has, right? The cartilage fracture or the tear, the torn cartilage. They called it floating ribs back when I was playing.
Just sounds painful.
It just feels. It's not necessarily painful. It's just uncomfortable because you feel your ribs moving, right? You feel each one moving back and forth, and so again, once you get past the mental block of hey, there's nothing worse can happen. It took me about 3 weeks to heal from that too. And it was tough, like practicing with it, playing in games with it. It was tough, but it's definitely able to it's easy to handle once you get it mentally over it. But again, we saw Justin Herbert go back out there. So, from Justin Herbert's side, you got to be tough enough to handle it. You got to go get a second opinion. You got to make sure that you get what you need for you, right? Because this is still a business. And no matter if you're the franchise quarterback, no matter if you're the 53rd guy on the roster or the 61st guy on the roster, whatever it is now, you got to make sure that, your body is your resume and you take care of that. And so he definitely has some things he has to deal with, but he also has to prepare to play a game. He's a starting quarterback. And so how can they get him up to speed without hurting his ribs?
My body is not my resume, and Aaron, your body definitely is not your resume.
My body is a wonderland.
Just to make that perfectly clear. It certainly is important on the football field for sure. Maurice Jones-Drew with us here on Brett and Friends on ESPN 690 on a Monday. Joins us each and every Monday, 3 o'clock hour, talking Jags, talk the rest of the NFL. One more thing on the Jags, and then I do want to ask you a little bit about your game and some of the things going on in the NFL, because holy cow. Ty texted me last night. He's like, this league is insane. And it was insane the first 2 weeks. Maurice, I'm having a hard time just trying to figure out how to describe this. But I think there's a maturity about this team that is still young that I'm not sure I see all the time. And so it's a young football team, but they're an inexperienced football team. Yet I feel like they didn't panic last week when they lost the game. I feel like they took care of business. They came in from that win off the field yesterday, and I was in the hallway, and they weren't like, oh, my gosh, we just won the Super Bowl. I just sense, and we kind of see this, guys like Trayvon Walker, Devin Lloyd, even ETN and Trevor, of course, these young big-time players, they've been through this before. So I don't know if I'm connected with you here, Mojo, but you can be mature and still inexperienced, and then young can be okay, can it?
Oh, young can be very okay because you don't know that you don't know, right? And I think the most important thing about the way this roster was kind of built, and it's the way Mike Mayock tried to build the Raiders when he was the GM, is you get guys from championship programs, right? Think about the guys you just named. You got the University of Utah with your middle linebacker. They win Pac-12s every year. They go to they played in big-time bowl games. You got your first overall pick from Georgia, just won a national championship. You got Clemson guys who won national championships and went to back-to-back. So you get guys that are accustomed to winning, right? And then the thing about winning is once you win, you figure out, okay, this is what it takes to win, and then each week it takes a little bit more. And so having Doug Peterson, who's won a Super Bowl, understands that as well. So now you have a nucleus of guys who have won championships. Your left tackle is at Bama. He's won before, right? So you continue to put that championship pedigree out there with a championship head coach, and they continue to push. They continue to push and get better. And I think that's where the young part is okay, right? I think that's where it's okay. Now, if you have a bunch of young dudes who've never won before and, you have a team and coaches excited that they won one game, we should always celebrate the wins. Don't get me wrong, but we have another game next week that we need to win as well. And so I think Doug Peterson does a great job of really allowing them to be young and have fun and being creative with them, but also having them understand that winning is just a byproduct of what we do throughout the week, right? If we put the work in throughout the week, the wins will stack up and they'll come. And that's why you don't see a lot of guys excited and yelling and screaming. This is what's supposed to happen when you work a certain way.
Yeah, well said. How about your game, man? That was crazy. You referenced it a bit earlier. The Rams get a win. Are there some concerns? Obviously the special teams, maybe a little fluky. Did they just fall asleep? But after the opener and then this one, should there be some concerns about the Rams? And now you're looking at two Super Bowl teams, one that struggled late yesterday in the Rams but still got the win, dominated early, and then the Bengals that are 0-2 so far. What do you make of the first 2 weeks for the two teams that were in the Super Bowl?
Well, first, the NFL in general is a soap opera, and they need to figure. I don't know if it's Days of Our Lives or whichever one it is. I mean, it's the best soap opera there is because you really don't know what a team is until week 4 anyway. And that's the funny part about the NFL. Like the first month of the season, teams are trying to figure out their identity and who they are. For the Rams, they jumped out. They were playing very well. I mean, Stafford at one point was 12 for 12. He couldn't miss. They were doing whatever they wanted. And then he took a shot down the field to Tyler Higbee and threw a pick. And that kind of started stirring things up. The defense got a turnover. They went back and they scored. And then the second time he threw a pick, it was just a good play by Michael Walker from the Atlanta Falcons. And he made a great play on it, put the Falcons in a short field. They go down and score. And then all of a sudden that momentum changes. And that's always a tough situation when that momentum changes to try to fight and get it back. They couldn't get it back, got a punt blocked. And then Jalen Ramsey, obviously your arch nemesis, my bestie, found a way to close the game out. And I think, again, your stars have to show up and make plays in those situations, and Jalen did. When it comes to the Bengals, though, I think the biggest thing with the Bengals, it doesn't matter who your protection is. It doesn't matter how much you pay guys. Your play calling has to help that as well. And the Bengals do a lot of 5 to 7-step drops. And they try to throw the ball down the field all the time. And so Joe Burrow is going to continue to get sacked. He's going to continue to get hit. They're going to continue to struggle until they change their play calling. Now, they ran the ball a little bit, but there wasn't many play-action pass off it. There wasn't a lot of, let the play-action be your 7 steps or let the play-action open up some of the crossing routes and things like that. They were just trying to do it straight from gun. And, he's back there just a target. And so it's tough to do. I know that's who he is and that's what they want to be, but sometimes your play calls have to really protect the quarterback from himself, if that makes sense, right? I always go back to when we were in Jacksonville, we went to the playoffs in 2007. Dirk Cutter, his play calling allowed us to be an explosive run team and an explosive pass team without David turning the ball over, right? And then the next year we kind of went to wide open and we want to let all this stuff go, and then we started to turn the ball over a little bit, right? And so I thought our game plan in 2007, he protected us a little bit more with the way he called plays, and it worked to our advantage. We were built for that type of offense. 2008 and on, we kind of became tried to be more of an explosive offense, and it just didn't work out for us.
Keep going around the NFL a little bit. The Cardinals with a crazy, crazy comeback. Again, look at the games, Mojo. The Dolphins throw 6 touchdowns from Tua. They come back down 21 down, 20-0. Raiders, who are supposed to be good, another one of your former teams, they blow it against the Cardinals. The Cleveland Browns, 2-touchdown lead. You said it, the soap opera. It's insane. We might not know anybody, who anybody is yet, but we know the league is absolutely crazy, and I guess it's fun to watch.
Well, not only is it fun to watch, it's the best league in the world. There's fans all over Europe. I know you guys are going to London as well. There's no other sport like this where it's so much drama, where teams that win aren't supposed to win. Teams are, it was just everything. 20-point comebacks don't happen in the National Football League. What happened, scoring 2 touchdowns in a minute and 55 seconds, doesn't happen in the National Football League. Scoring Tua throwing 4 touchdowns and coming back down by 3 to win a game, that doesn't happen in the National Football League. Yet it all happened this past weekend on top of some other good games, right? The Pittsburgh-New England game, everybody thought New England was going to start 0-2. They found a way to scratch and get a victory. So it's just been exciting, and no one ever thought the Bengals would be 0-2, but they're finding ways to lose right now instead of finding ways to win. So there's so many different things that you're seeing happen. It's like, hey, how and why are these things happening? And the last thing is, again, like I said, no one knows who you are until about week 4, and you start to figure it out. And the best teams figure it out before week 4. So we'll see who those teams are next week.
All right, 2 things quick before I'm going to let you go here. But thankfully, 2 Jaguars teams didn't win. My goodness, is UCLA going to win
Say it again. Hello?
Thankfully, 2 Jaguars teams didn't win this week. South Alabama almost got your UCLA Bruins.
Hey, 3-0 is 3-0. You're not worried about all that almost stuff. It's college football. You just got to win. Foul points don't matter anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And hey, that Deuce play football games on some yardage totals or something. You gotta push something out on social media. Keep an eye on this guy, Rashean Mathis. He's also
Mojo, Brent's connection is pretty rough. He was out hosting a golf tournament this morning. I think he's asking about Deuce's performance. Got any highlights for us?
Oh, yeah. I'll make sure I post some on my Instagram. But Deuce, he scored 4 touchdowns, had 2 picks, a pick 6, a couple tackles. We won 48-0.
That's a big.
He's ready to come home.
There. I bet.
And he's ready to come home. He wants to come home and play a team in Jacksonville is what he told me. He calls Jacksonville home.
Nice.
So people know.
Would love to.
He's still a Jag fan. He loves it. And can't wait to get back out there and him see everybody.
That's so awesome. Can't wait to have him back in town. Mojo, appreciate you taking the time, man. Thank you so much.
All right. No problem. See you later.
Maurice Jones-Drew, legendary Jaguar. Now doing, color for the LA Rams? That TV group up there out in LA?
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Brent Martineau out at the Dream 18, or at least what was the Dream 18 this morning. We'll see if we can reconnect with him. In the meantime, me and the Red Menace, my name is Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz, behind the glass on the 1s and 2s for Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. That summer heat's right around the corner, and so are those high energy bills. Don't just sweat it out, do something about it. Call Koala Insulation today for your free evaluation. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Hey, Chief, we got a damaged RV on its way to the OR.
Well, that sounds like a job for the new head of RV surgery.
Wait, are you promoting me?
Congrats, Martinez.
That RV's flatlining.
Well, that sounds like a job for the new head of nursing.
So you're just promoting everyone now?
Yeah, kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks you can actually speak another language. Como si fuera magia.
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, do you like beer? What about great food and lederhosen? Then you're going to love the 3rd annual Oktoberfest at Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside, sponsored by 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union. Kingmaker has the only Oktoberfest in Jacksonville that spans 2 whole weekends, September 22nd to October 2nd. That's 10 days of good food, great beer, and amazing local businesses. Learn more or grab VIP tickets at kingmakerbrewing.com. Oktoberfest, September 22nd to October 2nd. Kingmaker in Riverside. Brought to you by Jacksonville's hometown credit union, 1-to-1 Financial. Duncan.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celsius Essential Energy is Jacksonville's official energy drink of summer, and Jacksonville summers are fueled by Celsius. If you see ESPN 690 out and about this summer, come grab an ice-cold Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open. Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjacks.com.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana. taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I've been telling you about iCryo now for the last 6 months. Elevate your lifestyle and save while you do it. If you listen to ESPN 690, you can get a day pass to iCryo in St. Johns County for just $69. Tell them ESPN 690 sent you, and you can pick 3 of the 6 lifestyle services: whole body cryo, local cryo, compression, red light therapy, infrared sauna, cryofacial. Just has to be used all in one day, 3 out of 6 for $69. It's a heck of a deal for listening to ESPN 690 at iCryo.com.
When Smart Tools give you control, you own it. When you're confident in your decisions, you own it. When you're sure someone's got your back, you own it. At Community First Credit Union, you can own it all. With free digital banking, fewer fees, and a team that's ready to help, you're in control of your money so you can live your life your way. Go ahead and own it. Add an account today at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Children's Home Society of Florida's 38th annual Caring Chefs is back. Join us Sunday, October 23rd at the Glass Factory and try samples from the First Coast finest chefs, sommeliers, and craft brewers, all for a good cause. Buy tickets today at sfl.org/chefs.
Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to a Victory Monday here on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau out here at the golf club at Southampton where we had our Dream 18. Back in the studio pushing the buttons and trying to clean up my mess out here with the signal. Casey Kurtz and Aaron Schachter, so appreciate the patience on that. And we usually have I always say this, we have a lot of good luck, but sometimes that signal is not working the way I want it to. The luck has run out,
Brent.
Hey, we got to win, right? I mean,
Yes.
got all that luck that way.
Man.
Got the tournament in before the rain came. Like, that's luck.
Yeah.
So, you got a little delay on a little robotic Brent sometimes on the radio. I can deal with it.
It actually on cue goes to robot. But you're right. If you got to divert some of the luck for a good tourney and a good game from the Jags, then it's worth it. I'm sure everyone would agree.
So you guys can. I would still try to keep fixing this, but we did have a heck of a day out here. Let me take a couple minutes before we get Rashean Mathis on coming up at the 4 o'clock hour. He's going to join us, and we talk about the Jags defense, right? It'll be a lot of fun to talk about that with Rashean Mathis. But we want to thank everybody for coming out to the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18. We did it once again at Southampton. They've been so good to us, and Cadillac, our title sponsor, and Best Bet, and Law Offices of Ron Scholes, and Jacksonville Giants. We had all the sports teams out here, guys, as well, the Shrimp, and the Jags coming off the win, so that was nice. Scobie and Podlish, former Jaguars players. Mike Mularkey, former head coach, was out here playing in the Dream 18 as well with another group, so it was good to see him and all the folks. One of the great things that we got out here today from I guess I took it as a compliment, is that when I went around to all the vendors, we had so many food places out on the course, they said, man, I keep seeing the same faces from last year or the year before, and they're getting to know them. And so we appreciate the loyalty of a lot of folks that helped the Dream 18 work and come out here in September. And the rain actually did come like at 3 o'clock when the show started instead of earlier today when we were playing some golf. So North Florida Junior Golf Foundation and St. Michael Soldiers will write them a check for somewhere over $25,000, and it will help the cause and what they're working for too. But can't do it without everybody's help. And, of course, the help of everybody back there. Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton did the show this morning, and our Action Sports Jacks team and ESPN 690 and Cox Media Group and the TV side have done a great job supporting it over the years, too. So just a lot of fun. It's a fun day. That's what we try to make it, a fun day. And at the end of the day, give a little back by way of charity and some dollars.
So, Casey, did you not go out there this morning?
No, I was here.
Oh, so then
I
Brent,
saw you this morning.
Yeah, I thought maybe you went out after that. So I guess that means, Brent, that the kettle corn guy didn't need to file an order of protection or anything like that?
Yes. I did do my job and got a box of kettle corn for you guys. So
he really is one of the more giving people we know, Casey.
I at least will pick you up a little bit since you're battling with all my technical issues here on here for the first hour and tell you at least I got you the kettle corn.
Victory Monday. Everything's looking up. Everything's looking great. Kettle corn, let's
Casey.
go.
Casey, one problem with that, I'm not bringing it back today. So
Well, great.
Maybe
You're not here
can-
tomorrow either. So,
Well, are you coming? Maybe you can come down to Davoli's House of Cards and get it.
Oh, a little plug ski.
there we go.
Yeah, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be back down here.
And now the folks in our chat want kettle corn as well. So
Yeah. Well, Front Porch Kettle Corn is the place to get it. So we absolutely love it, and we appreciate it. By the way, he comes over from Hilliard.
Wow.
And comes to the tournament.
where
So,
does he
I mean,
connect? In Atlanta? How long is his layover?
so you're talking about support, right? I mean, that's what I mean, man. That's really cool. It's always hard to put into words when we kind of help put this event on and the gratitude. I think about it over the weekend. I'm like, man, all the people. I'm even surprised sometimes. I'm like, hey, Mambos and Donatos and Hurricanes and Fogo de Chao and Willie Jules and Metro Diner and Smoothie King and. I mean, you guys coming out to the tournament? Yeah, we'll be there. I'm like, are you sure? Like, why? Like, why are you coming? and then I think about it. I'm like, man, that's pretty cool that they come out here each and every year. And I think they do have a good time. We had Vita DeLuis out here. We had Cryo out here. Who am I missing? Jumpin' Jack's House of Food out here. So we had everything, and it was a heck of a day. So we'll have some pictures up. Thanks for hanging with us on a couple of the technical issues as it's raining here now at Southampton. But we got Rashean Mathis coming up next. Maurice Jones-Drew and Rashean Mathis on Mondays here on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. So let's go have a big time in the 4 o'clock hour here on a Monday. Jags win 24-0. And don't forget tonight, Jags Report live at Sneakers in Jax Beach. Andre Sisco came up with a pick. He'll join us there live at 7 o'clock. You can watch it on Fox 30 as well. We'll be right back on ESPN 690.
You have choices when booking a tour of St. Augustine from the water. Sadly, some tour boat operators don't follow the same high ethical standards as Redboat Tours. Don't be a victim of fake reservations or misleading emails. Book with the one and only Redboat Tours, one of the best boat tour experiences in America according to USA Today. Locally and family owned and operated Redboat Tours. Go to redboattours.com. That's redboattours.com to book a tour you can trust.
If you play a sport or coach a sport or watch a sport in Jacksonville, there's a really good chance that uniform was ordered through Baker Sports. Look good, feel good, play good. Custom sports apparel at Baker Sports since 1997 and a staff that wants to help you. They are experts in the business and make outfitting your team a seamless endeavor. The homegrown Jacksonville business is now the top choice for apparel all over the Southeast. Baker Sports, uniforms, hats, shoes, embroidery, screen printing, and 3D printing. They do it all at Baker Sports, helping make your team look good.
Attention taxpayers. If you're facing IRS debt you can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of the new Taxpayer Relief Initiative to free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. You may qualify for significant tax savings. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number stored in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax helpline at 800-219-3123. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or you even have years of unfiled tax returns, you may now find the relief that you need. Call the Community Tax helpline today at 800-219-3123. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-219-3123 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-219-3123.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
The NFL suspended Buccaneers receiver Mike Evans one game for his role in yesterday's altercation with Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. He won't be allowed to return until after Sunday's game against the Packers. Evans does plan to appeal the suspension. 49ers released a statement that quarterback Trey Lance underwent successful surgery today on his broken right ankle. With Lance out the rest of the season, Jimmy Garoppolo resumes starting duties while Lance is out. And turning to Jimmy G this season, not necessarily a bad thing for San Francisco, according to ESPN's Ryan Clark.
If you're the San Francisco 49ers, although you wanted to get Jimmy G out of there, you hope to get something in the trade. This is just a lucky happenstance. Now with Trey Lance out, you saw the immediate impact of Jimmy G being comfortable, being able to get the ball to Ayuk, get the ball out to Deebo Samuel, and this team now has a chance, even with a quote-unquote backup.
Browns defensive end Jadeveon Clowney ankle injury out Thursday night against the Steelers. Police in Las Vegas say they're investigating allegations a fan in the stands yesterday struck Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray in the face amid celebrations of Arizona's OT win over the Raiders.
When it comes to hiring, you don't need to be doing all the searching, screening, and interviewing yourself. What you need is Indeed, the end-to-end solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Casey Kurtz.
Yo! What are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back to Southampton in St. Johns County as the Dream 18 tournament is in the books, and everybody out here was talking about a Jags win on Sunday, 24-0 W over the Indianapolis Colts. They absolutely owned them. They dominated them. One of the most dominating wins we have seen in a long time. Somebody referenced, listen, last year was pretty dominating too in that season finale. This one has so much more meaning for the Jags. It puts them at 500. They're actually in first place right now in the AFC South, so a ton of meaning early in the season, and it negates any chance of them going like 0-4 out of the gates against two tough opponents coming up on the back end of that Colts win. But I think you go back to maybe the Baltimore Ravens win a few years ago in London. Man, that was dominating. They just whooped up on Baltimore. So it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Jags end up getting the shutout win over the Indianapolis Colts. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz here on a Monday. Just had Maurice Jones-Drew stop by for the last half hour or so. And now we welcome in former Jaguars cornerback Rashean Mathis, longtime NFL guy, and he joins us on Mondays to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, Rashean, how about a shutout, man? They're smiling in that defensive meeting room today, aren't they?
Hey, there's nothing better than a goose egg. Nothing better than a goose egg. So, yes, it's very big smiles in the defensive meeting room for sure.
Hey, let me ask you a little bit more about that, because I thought like there was almost an urgency about them. You know, I've interviewed enough guys to know that everybody wants the shutout. Yeah, we want the shutout. We want the shutout. But I almost saw that game and was like, wow, there's an urgency about this. The play Rashean Jenkins made in the back of the end zone to preserve the shutout at the time. And keep in mind, there were a couple of times that the Colts could have kicked field goals, but they were down by so much they needed to score 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions to have a chance. I just thought there was like this. They were still playing for that shutout. Does that happen? Does it mean that much to a defense, Rashean?
It does, because you don't want to be the guy who gives it up. So it definitely does. It means a lot. It means a lot to the defense, because you don't see, there's a couple handfuls that happen in all of the games the entire year, the entire NFL season. So you don't see too many of those. So when you're able to get one, you better capitalize on it.
Rashean, I remember I was traveling with the team back in 2007. I was up in the press box. We were in Kansas City. I believe you were on the roster. And it was 17-0 into the fourth quarter. And the Chiefs end up going downfield and scoring. And we heard this huge banging, this huge commotion in the room next to us. Turns out that was where Mike Smith was calling the plays from. And he went absolutely ham on this room when the Chiefs scored. He really wanted that shutout very, very badly. It seems like it's the holy grail for that defensive coordinator, obviously.
Definitely. So that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure it was some banging and some choice of words.
Smitty was hot. Yeah, man. He was real hot.
Hey, Rashean, this is 6 turnovers now, man, in 2 weeks. They had 9 all of last year. We know what the importance of turnovers are, but they also have 5 sacks in this game. So they're getting to the quarterback. They're making splash plays. Do we know yet, is this the defense that we're going to see? Is that what this defense is going to be about? I'm not going to say they're going to go shut out everybody. They'll probably give up some along the way because they have some inexperience and new parts. But are they going to kind of have an MO of, we're going to turn you over and you're not going to be safe back there in the pocket?
Well, it's a great start. I tell you that. Is that going to be their fingerprint? We don't know yet, but Like I said, it's a great start. It's better than only having 1 sack and 0 interceptions in 2 games, right? So this right here is saying a lot. It's saying that the guys up front is getting after the ball, and when we're able to get our hands on the ball, we're reeling them in. So this is a great start for the defense.
Rashean, again, been covering this thing a long time, and you get some cliches going, and sometimes it's coach speak, and sometimes they're cliches because, well, it's real. I mean, that's what happens. I say that's why cliches exist, because, well, it happens all the time, or people speak about it all the time. And a lot of folks like to say in NFL locker rooms, especially when you talk to defenses, hey, we're going to get those turnovers, and they're going to come in bunches. Like, do you guys, are you trained to believe that, or is it really true? Is it like a trend in your experience of playing a game of football that when you get 1, you usually get 2?
Yeah, and that's what we like to think as a defense. I guess the offense might say, okay, if you throw 1, you're not going to throw another one. But on the defensive side of the ball, we like to think that they come in bunches. So we do train our mindsets. We trick our minds, regardless of how you want to look at it. We believe that once you get your hand on the ball, good things will happen. So just keep adding pressure to the quarterback, keep being around the ball, and good things will happen. And it's happening for the Jaguars.
You know, Rashean, if you look at the box score, you see Trayvon Walker had 2 tackles. He hit the quarterback once. Can you talk a little bit more about his day, something maybe that Jags fan might not see in the box score if they didn't watch his performance on the field?
Oh, it's just looking. He has a motor. He's a football player. It's some people that we call athletes. It's some people that we call football players. And he has a nose for the ball. He's always going to be around it. He has a motor. It doesn't stop. So his activity and him being so active is a very, very impressive thing. And I'm watching him, and I'm watching his motor regardless of if the ball is coming towards his way or if it's not. He's trying to get to the quarterback every play, and that's something that you need. It's only a few guys that I've been around with a motor like that, and that just tries to get after trying to get a sack every play, or just trying to get around the ball every play. They have a nose for it, and that's what he's doing.
And by the way, how much does that help the secondary when you got a quarterback back there running for his life because you got guys like Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker coming for him every play? It certainly buys you guys a little bit of leash, doesn't it?
Hey, you better get your Christmas gifts ready and get ready to give them guys some praise, because that's what makes our world easy, right? Like that's what we need a front. We need a front on the back end. So, you know, we're on the island, but at the same time, we need some patrolling to happen around that island before the ball comes to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Rashean Mathis with us on Mondays here on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690, along with Aaron Schachter and Casey Kurtz as well. We're live at Southampton. We're at our Dream 18 golf tournament today, and we keep talking about the Jags a little bit more. And by the way, Trayvon didn't show up big in the stat column. He almost did. Now he had that forced fumble. Oh, so close to a forced fumble, and then he almost got a deflection. Almost made a super athletic play on a ball that was thrown to the outside. You know, you guys just talked about pressure. This is why I'm not a huge fan of Matt Ryan, and we've had this discussion all in the offseason. I think he's getting a little bit older, but he's so immobile. And if you look around the National Football League right now, Rashean, it's really hard to play the quarterback position and be immobile. Like, that is such an advantage, I think, for a defense because, I mean, Tom Brady can get away with it. He's really, 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 really good. I'm not sure Matt Ryan can get away with it as much. He's been fantastic in his career, and I'm not trying to knock him. I just think he's not Tom Brady good. And if you look at almost everybody else in the league that plays that position, they can use their legs. I mean, you must love that from a defensive standpoint when you don't have to worry about a guy beating you with his feet.
Hey. Yes, hi. I'm sorry. Yes, you definitely do. You definitely do. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. Say hi to them for us.
That was the cutest.
School, man.
That was the cutest I've ever heard, Rashean.
My little daughter. So you definitely have to be mobile. It's a different game. It's definitely a different game, and you're seeing it how owners and management is drafting these quarterbacks as well. They're looking for a little mobility, and it's hard to operate if your system is not geared to getting the ball out fast.
I mean, 11 quarterback hits yesterday. You want to talk about pressure all day for Matt Ryan. That doesn't even tell the real story of the times he wasn't hit, just running for his life, throwing that ball up, double and triple coverage. But good to see on the other side that Trevor wasn't, right, Brent? Good to see that he was only hit twice. He really had the pocket to himself for most of the day.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he got it out quick, Rashean. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, how impressed were you with him in his ability to play pitch and catch in such an accurate manner yesterday?
It was impressive to see. I think it was what he went 7 for 7, and then at some point he was 11 for 10, and it kept going. So the play calling definitely favored him to get him going, and even when he took some shots, it was some calculated shots that the ball just wasn't thrown. It looked like it was close to being intercepted, but the ball wasn't thrown just to be thrown. He was trying to give his playmakers some chances to make some plays, and you like to see that in the quarterback. You want the defense to know that you will go up top, and y'all better stay disciplined, and he had the defense doing that. So I love what I saw from him.
We got Mojo on Mondays in the 3 o'clock hour. We got Mathis on Mondays in the 4 o'clock hour talking about another a Jags win. Shouldn't say another just yet. But Doug Peterson, I think, is a really good coach, and I think it's shown in 2 games. Rashean, he had a lot to fix coming off last year. He talked about it. He's got to get some healing going on in that locker room. I think he's done that and then some. And then you see his play-calling ability. It's tough to defend Doug Peterson, isn't it?
It is. I like the aggressiveness that he's showing. I like the poise that he's showing. He's going to go for it on 4th down. I think it was, I don't forget what quarter it was. I was actually even telling him, just go ahead and kick the field goal. We're up. I think we were up 17. It was when we were up 17-0, right? And I was like, just go ahead and kick the field goal. Like, we're up 17-0. It could be 20-0. But he went forward, and it worked. I like that. So from a defensive standpoint, I know they love seeing it as well, especially when those things are executed well. So I love his play calling ability, and I love his aggressiveness.
Yeah, so far, I mean, I think he's really been good. He's made a difference. Like, it jumps out at you. I mean, he owned the Colts. Yes, the players have to go make plays, but he certainly just was masterful in his play calling, in the game plan, and it just worked to a T. And then if you go back to last week, I still think Doug did some really good things. The guys just didn't make the easy plays during the course of the game at times. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz, Rashean Mathis talking about a 24-0 Jags win. All right, Rashean, I know I've interviewed you many a time in a locker room after a game, wins and losses. And, after the wins, when you guys would have some good wins, you'd be like, yeah, but there's still stuff to clean up, and we got to fix this, and we got to fix that. And I heard that in the locker room yesterday when I was in there. But if I take the first 3 quarters, Rashean, 24-0, and you're watching that back on tape here on a Monday in the film room, I mean, are you really fixing anything? Like, was there anything to fix? Is that real?
Yeah, it's really real, especially when you're dealing with when you only have a certain amount of games in a season. And you're dealing with 17 games in a season. So it's really real, because you have to understand that the Colts missed some plays, right? Like, we didn't have a perfect game. And that's what we have to look at from an organization and from a defensive standpoint and an offensive standpoint. From an organization standpoint, we didn't play a perfect game. So what spots, we praise you when we need to praise you, but what spots can we get better in? And that's when you have a true sign of a really good team, when you're looking at those 24-0 wins just as well or just as much as you're looking at that loss from last week. And that's when you have a sign of the telltale sign of a true and a disciplined team. And you have to go about business that way.
Over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at Doug Peterson, kind of wondering how he was going to work this team. We know he's a former quarterback. We know he loves to pass, but we also know he utilizes the backfield pretty well. We were looking at what he did in Philly, and then, Brent, if you remember, we were talking about what he normally did out there. I just want to bring up last week, week 1. Granted, the Jaguars were down for a lot of the game. Week 1, pass to run, 60-40. All right, so 59.5% pass, and it was, 41.5% run. Week 2, 45% pass, 55% run. Do you think this is a trend? Do we know who Doug Peterson is? Mojo says we got to wait till week 4 to know anything. What do you think, Rashean?
I think the game would dictate a lot. I think the game dictates a lot. I think you understanding if you're dominating up front, if you keep punishing him, and the drives that we were able to put together yesterday, that's why as a defensive on the defense side of the ball, we love those type of games because it allows us to play fast. Their offense don't get to see us as much as their offense didn't get to see us as much, and we're able to stay energized and keep our energy. So I've seen yesterday depleted defense on the Colts side of the ball because we sustained drive after drive, and it was impressive to see. So I would say it determines on what you feel on how your front is playing that day, and the front played well yesterday.
Well, just to your point, too, I mean, you talk about a fresh defense. By halftime, Colts had run 13, 16, 21 plays, Rashean. 21 plays in the first half. I mean, heck, by the time the defense got into halftime, they probably thought the game hadn't even started yet.
Right. I totally agree with you because they didn't even feel tested at that point. They did their job. They got off the field when they needed to get off the field, and the offense kept sustaining drive after drive. So it was. I wish I might have could have played yesterday on the defensive side of the ball. If you give me 20 plays in one half, I'll take it.
And a $5 million signing bonus. Don't forget the signing bonus.
There we go.
Rashean Mathis with us here on ESPN 690. Hey, I just asked Maurice Jones-Drew this in the last hour. And I'm going to tell it to you the way I asked it to him, which was not very eloquent, quite frankly, because I just don't. I'm having a little bit of a hard time trying to get this layman's terms to the folks out there. But follow me, people, if you're listening, and hopefully you're listening on ESPN 690, and see if Rashean knows what I'm talking about. I think there's like a maturity about this young team. And we've seen all different makeups of teams over the years. And I'll tell you why I see that, Rashean. First of all, we know the quality of guy they brought in here. Trevor is a mature 22-year-old. A guy like Devin Lloyd, go look at his story and what he's gone through over these last couple years. And you knew coming in, you could feel that kid, even though he's a rookie coming into the NFL. Trayvon Walker's a grown man, a humble guy, doesn't get wrapped up in all the stuff, you know. These guys have been in the spotlight before. But to add to that, they didn't panic last week after a loss where they probably thought they should have won, and they were a little ticked off, quite frankly. And then also, after the game yesterday, I watched them go in the locker room, Rashean, and it wasn't like we won a Super Bowl in Jacksonville. Now, meanwhile, the fans probably thought they won the Super Bowl in Jacksonville. Hasn't been a lot of wins around here. So am I reading into that potentially correctly, that you can be young, but you can still be mature, and that could be really beneficial to Doug Peterson and this football team throughout the course of the year?
Yes, I 100% agree with you. And that matters. It matters a lot, actually, because it was probably maybe about 4 years ago, like we had a young team, and we can tell that we had a young team, right? By different situations and different scenarios with how they behaved and how they carried themselves. But I think Doug has done a great job of implanting his blueprint and the way he handled things and the way he want to go about things on this team. And it's showing throughout their play, throughout them being responsible. And like you said, this is a win we needed, but this is a small stepping stone because, you know, that mountain is high and we still have to climb. We still have a long way to go. We still have some steps to take and to get better at. And I think you've seen that, as you said, that, yeah, we won, but okay, let's look through this film and get a little better. And then we know we have some tough games ahead of us as well.
I think the maturity point is even more important now when you recognize that the Jags still have like the fourth or fifth youngest roster in the league. Average age of 25 years, 11 months, 7 days. You're 28 out of 32 there. It certainly doesn't look that way on the field, though, with the way these guys are playing.
I totally agree. And like you said, it's gonna, if we can keep this up and have that young roster grow year after year after year, with some great cornerstone pieces at the quarterback spot and the tackle spot, some linebacker or D-line spots at the cornerback spots and whatnot. Like, that's how you build a franchise. And I think we touched on it last week about, I think it was 4 or 5 players that was drafted in the top 33. It was something like that we touched on last week about some key guys being drafted early, and those guys are being able to make impacts. And when you're able to build a roster like that and you hit on those spots and not miss on those spots, that's a great sign for your organization.
Brent, can I give you one stat before Casey starts bumping us with music to go to break? Because I love this. I just saw this and it lit me up. We've been talking a lot about the Jaguars receivers. But Brent, off the top of your head, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, so you could say, I don't know. But if you had to guess, where in the NFL,
where in the NFL Christian Kirk ranks in receptions of 20 yards or more. What rank would you give him this season, this young 2-week-old season?
Well, I don't say I don't know to anything, okay? So that's not going to be happening here. I do know that he's in like top 7 or 8 in a lot of statistical categories right now.
That's true.
So I'll probably, because you're giving us that question.
Oh, context clues.
I'm
I like it.
Say like 4th.
4th is a good guess because Christian Kirk right now is 3rd. Cooper Kupp 4th. Justin Jefferson 2nd. And, of course, Tyreek Hill 1st. He got like 4 out of his 5 passes for 20-plus yards yesterday. Christian Kirk having a dominant season so far.
Yeah, it's been really good. Really good start to I mean, listen, well, we're going to bring up the money all the time with Christian Kirk, but he's obviously been a really good investment. And by the way, to what Rashean was just talking about and the maturity, this guy, hey, do you know Christian Kirk really well, Rashean? Because he is like a pro's pro. Like you'd love him.
Yeah, I do not know him, and I haven't met him yet. But I'm seeing the energy that he's bringing on the field and how his teammates are gathering around him. So it seems like he is a really, really good guy.
Yeah, and you can just feel like just sometimes answering questions, and he's that guy, man. I mean, he learned from Larry Fitzgerald, so that's a pretty good mentor to have. And now I think he's spreading that in the locker room for the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, here's what I want you to do, Rashean. It sounds like your daughter just got home from school or something, so make sure you ask her how her day went during the commercial break. And we're going to take a timeout. And when we come back, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams for the Chargers next week. How good are those guys? Can the Jags defend them with what they got? What do they have to worry about with the Chargers, who can really light it up but might be a little banged up? We'll talk a little bit about that coming up with Rashean Mathis. Joins us on Mondays at 4 o'clock. And we're back on Brett and Friends on ESPN 690, live from the Golf Club at Southampton, right after this.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A mix of sun and clouds today. Have an umbrella nearby. There'll be more scattered showers at times. An isolated thunderstorm with highs in the mid-80s, dropping to near 70 tonight and partly sunny tomorrow. Just an isolated shower. It'll be hotter. We reach the upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jags.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys. No markups, no retail games, and never a commission.
This year, CGC Water Treatment is celebrating 75 years in business. Happy anniversary to them. Put their experience to work for you. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. I've had mine for a handful of years now. Absolutely love it at the house. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Call today and save hundreds, even thousands on a complete home solution for city and well water. Financing available with approved credit. And because the professionals at CGC Water are committed to being your go-to water experts, you can trust their master plumber with all your plumbing needs as well. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Right now you can take advantage of the $75 drain cleaning special. Call for details. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
You know what's great about getting older? They're way cooler. Spring is here, and it's playtime. Yeah! And One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, has slash loan rates across the board on all the toys. Motorcycles, jet skis, boats, RVs, ATVs, even golf carts. And it's fun and potentially dangerous. One-to-One Financial has the perfect loan to help you finance it. Check out our rock bottom rates and apply now at one-to-one-fcu.org. Come out and play. Federally insured by NCUA.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
Never paint your house again. Hey Jay, at Rhino Shield, we talk about protecting your home from the harsh Florida weather because we have seen what happens to those cracks when they get ignored.
Stucco cracks are more than just superficial. Without repair, they can allow water to get into the walls, causing water damage, mold, and even wood rot.
And Jay, some of our customers have been tied up in litigation for up to 4 years trying to be made whole again.
Rhino Shield your home now before you have to go to litigation, and you'll never have to paint again.
And after 22 years in business, our customers continue to trust us to protect and beautify their homes with the most scientifically advanced coating.
With our help, you can have pride in your home again. Call us for 1 year same as cash, 25% off, and a 25-year warranty.
Call 904-519-5055 or visit us at rhinoshieldjax.com. And remember, with Rhino Shield, you'll never have to paint again.
Rhino Shield. It's where I take my family to play golf, and you can take yours as well. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Shacks Dream 18, and it can be your golf destination. Enjoy your golf experience by calling 287-PLAY, 287-PLAY. Play some golf or maybe practice some golf at one of the newest facilities in the area. Grab some lunch or dinner, too. Southampton has it all. 287-PLAY for tee times and more. The Golf Club at Southampton, the home of the Dream 18. My home course. Make it your home course, too.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Action Sports Shacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690, and you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Shacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
How big was the deflection and the shutout for you in the end zone? I mean, you guys obviously want to put that 0 on the board.
Oh, the deflection. Okay. Yeah. Man, I was so locked in, but I was just on airplane mode out there. But the late deflection at the end there, that was huge, man. Our whole mentality when somebody steps in our red zone, especially this year, is they don't score. You know, if they can't score, they don't win, especially not a touchdown. You know, 3 points is enough. You know, we'll settle for 3.7. We can't let you get that.
That is Rashean Jenkins, who, by the way, played his best game as a Jaguar. I know just about everybody feels that way. He had a rough season last season, let's be honest. He got hurt. He got ejected from a game. He had another personal foul. He really didn't have great play. You got to wonder about a guy like that. Did he just not thrive under Urban Meyer? You do wonder about some of those guys that had tough times at times last year. And can't give him all that excuse, but maybe this is a better situation and he'll be more productive, and he certainly was. It wasn't just the interception for Rashean Jenkins. Number 2 was just about everywhere. He gave up a big play down the middle of the field. But I'm a big believer guys are going to give up plays. And so you have 4 pass deflections as well. I just felt like he played with a sense of urgency, which was kind of cool. When you can see a guy doing that on the football field, I'm sure they all are doing that, but when you can actually see it and it jumps off to you, I always think that's pretty neat. Brent Martineau back here at the Golf Club at Southampton, home of our Dream 18 for 2022 once again, and we just finished a fantastic day. Thanks to everyone who helped us raise money for North Florida Junior Golf Foundation and also St. Michael's Soldiers. Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz back in the studio. Casey's been getting after it since Monday Morning Madness. He'll have overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up at 6 o'clock. And, well, I mean, Schachter, you've been getting after it too. I mean, you had 96.9 the Eagle this morning.
I'm a busy boy.
Yeah,
that's how I do it.
You are. Meanwhile, we gave Rashean a little chance to at least say hi to the family after school, and he's back with us. Rashean Jenkins, I'm sure you didn't watch him. We've put you more to work now, Rashean, so I don't know if you watched him much last year, but, I mean, did number 2 yesterday watching that game stick out to you as much as he did to the rest of us?
He definitely did, and I think you need games like that. It's just a bounce-back game, right? So, and it's a good start to your season. There's more than I think fans don't realize there's more than one game that starts the season, right? There is the first quarter of your season, and how well do you play the first quarter of your season? Which when we're in the film room or when we're in the team room, we kind of break games down into break the season down into quarters. And how do we do the first quarter of the season? And he flew around yesterday. He was everywhere, like you said. To get your hands on that many balls, whether regards to how many you pull in, that means you had a very active day. And I'm sure he had probably like 7 or 8 tackles as well. So it was a very productive day for us.
It wasn't a big day to notice the secondary outside of those plays. I mean, Matt Ryan wasn't really that good. They didn't have a lot on the outside. They didn't have Pittman or Alec Pierce, and they didn't have the ball much, as we talked about earlier, Rashean. So, I mean, did that secondary play well in your opinion, or was it kind of one of those games hard to judge outside of the Cisco pick and the Rashean pick?
Yeah, they played well, and I was watching them close. Like I said, we did a great job on the offensive side of the ball of sustaining drives, so we didn't get tested as much. But when we did get tested, the DBs was in some good spots, and they eliminated some plays. They made Matt look elsewhere. He had to go to 2 and 3 reads, and it was all you wanted on the defensive side of the ball. So they played very well.
Now, Brent, I know earlier on I was pretty supportive of Matt Ryan. I thought you guys were besmirching the man, saying that maybe he's too immobile for the NFL, but he certainly looked the part yesterday. Do we think it was a bad game for Matt Ryan, or do we think it's going to be a bad season for Matt Ryan?
Yeah, I think yeah, that's a tough one. I'm Rashean. I mean, I'm going to go with Rashean here. Rashean, I'm stealing your line. One game doesn't make a season. Not going to give a grade after the first 2 games, right? I mean, but and I do agree with that. I think guys have bad games, and I'm not saying Matt Ryan stinks. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying I'm not afraid of the guy because he doesn't beat you with the legs, and I do think he's a tick toward the end more than he is in his prime. And I do wonder this, and I don't know how you feel. You can comment on it, too. You've got to have a lot of respect for Matt Ryan, Rashean. I mean, you went against him for, probably 7 or 8 years, I would guess.
Yes. Definitely a lot of respect for him. Like you said, he's a little long in the tooth in football years, but those are the guys that I kind of cheer for and hope that they do have a decent year because I've been there. But he looked uncomfortable yesterday. He did look uncomfortable, but I would say that, like you said, it's one game. It's the start of the season, and he has a lot of history behind him of playing well. So if he is going to have a good season, I might bet on that before I bet on anything.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here looking at it going, man, if I'm Matt Ryan, I'm in Atlanta last year, just getting the snot beat out of me by the defensive fronts that I'm playing, going, I got to find a safer job. And then you look at Indy.
You're right about that.
You look at Indy, and it's like they got this stalwart offensive line with these Pro Bowlers and already anointed future Hall of Famers on it, and it's like, all right, that's where we're going. And he's running for his life yesterday. You kind of feel for the man.
Well, then that's when you give the Jags front credit, right?
Yeah, man.
Like they did a really good job of getting after the quarter.
Great job.
I will say this though, okay? I'm not giving up on Matt Ryan this year as being just this terrible quarterback. And he doesn't have to do everything if they're healthy. We can't disregard Pittman was out. And Jonathan Taylor didn't play well. The Jags did a great job, to Rashean's point. I'm not sure the offensive line is as good as everybody keeps saying it is. But beyond that, Rashean, you guys take this thing 1 week at a time. But sometimes are there losses that derail you more than others? And if I was an Indianapolis fan, if I'm a Colts person in that building, I'm wondering just how much this one might have derailed us because they tied against Houston. That was unexpected in week 1. They just got throttled by the Jags. They've now lost 4 regular season games in a row under Frank Reich. They've tried different quarterbacks. This one doesn't look like it's working to the way they wanted it to. And, oh, by the way, they've got the Kansas City Chiefs up next in the Indy home opener. I mean, are there losses that just are like, more than maybe, we'll get them next week?
Yeah, well, these are the type of losses that you have to bounce back from, and it doesn't help when you, like you said, you have a monster staring you in the face the next week with Kansas City. But that's when you look back on the season and you'd be like, okay, well, we knew we had Kansas City. We have to get this win, and that's how the season will always unfold for many teams when you look back on the season, because this one hurt so bad, and are we able to recover from this loss? And if you're not able to get a win next week, that's when, like I said, you weren't able to recover because you had another monster staring you in the face, and you didn't capitalize on a good team, but maybe not the best team in the league as of right now with the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they're in the building phase of it. And you will, as an organization, you're kind of saying, okay, this is a must-win here because we have a tough one against Kansas City next week.
How about this stat, guys? You just threw a stat at me about Christian Kirk in the last segment.
I did, yeah.
Right, Aaron?
Yes.
I think you may have seen this by now. It's been going around, but if nobody has heard it, I think it's worth telling. The Jags, the Jets, the Lions, and I think the Giants are included in here as well, all won on the same day in the National Football League for the first time since 2011. 2011.
Somebody buy a lotto ticket.
Wow, two of those teams you played for, Rashean Mathis. I mean, maybe it's a new day in the NFL.
I agree. It definitely might be a new day in the NFL for sure.
Hey, speaking of the NFL, I asked Maurice Jones-Drew this too. I mean, this is a crazy league, Rashean. I mean, what is going on in these first 2 weeks? Why does nothing work out like we think it's going to work out? How do people come back from 2 touchdowns down with 1:22 seconds to go? How does Tua throw 6 touchdowns against that Baltimore Ravens defense and they blow a 21-point lead? I mean, it's like the inexplicable.
Listen, I had a hard time believing that. Like, I had a hard time believing that for any quarterback, right? Like, that's a lot of tubs in one quarter. So, like, that's impressive. That's impressive. At the same time, it's demoralizing as a defense to give up that many touchdowns in a quarter.
Oh, yeah.
The Miami Dolphins got the huge win, and again, pretty notable that I like the Lions, by the way. I have you been paying attention to the Lions at all? Because I kind of like what they're doing. They play hard, and I wasn't a huge Dan Campbell guy at the start of this thing, but now their offense is doing some things. I'm a little surprised, Aaron, by Detroit, and I guess they're surprising me. I think they're going to be a tough out for everybody, and I'm kind of hoping the Jags are like that. Like, even against the Chargers, heavy underdogs. Philadelphia, probably heavy underdogs. You just hope you're a really tough out, and then you pull some upsets.
It's some interesting parallels between the two teams and a young upstart defense, and the fact that on offense, I think a lot of people looked at the Lions and went, wow, you got some scary weapons there in the backfield. I don't think they were expecting too much out of Jared Goff and the wide receivers, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, but I mean, they've been throwing it all over the field, just like the Jaguars. And yes, while those running backs are dangerous and racking up yards too, that's a scary offense with a lot of potential over in Detroit, just like it is right here.
Yeah. We got Rashean Mathis keeping an eye on the Jags probably more than the Lions and probably more than the Chargers. But I do want to ask you about these guys if they're facing next week. Mike Williams, big dude, Rashean. Keenan Allen. I got to believe from your perspective, he'd probably be more of these surgical route runner, just pro guys who are really difficult to go against because they're going to be there every down, every play. He's banged up. We're not sure if he's going to play. Justin Herbert's banged up. I think he will play. What do those two receivers present for this secondary of the Jags?
Oh, it could be a long day. It could be a long day. So you better bring your hard hat because there's going to be some tough battles to be fought come Sunday. So it's those guys, like you said, big guys know how to make plays, and it's going to try to and they're competitors. They're going to compete every play, not taking plays off. So it's gonna be a good test for the secondary, a really good test.
Yeah. Did you like, by the way, would you rather go up against a big body guy or like a precision guy at the receiver position?
Well, it depends on what side of the bed I woke up on. Because it's like, I'm going to use golf, right? A different person kind of wins the tournament every week because you never know how your body is gonna respond once you get out there. some days your feet are a little faster than others. Some days they're a little heavier than others. So I was kind of in the middle, so I was able to hold my own against any size receiver. But it just depends on how my feet was moving that day, on who I wanted to face.
That's interesting. Yeah, and I could see that too. And actually, you kind of jogged my mind a little bit about the West Coast coming up. I have this belief, like, make this London trip. I feel terrible when I get to London. Like, I don't feel like I could give my best sportscast. I don't know how these guys go and play football to the best of their ability, and have their A game. The West Coast is a riddle for a lot of East Coast teams, but really the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, is it a thing? Do you just not feel your normal self when you go from Jacksonville to L.A. and just don't feel like, well, when you woke up that day, you're going to get, like, the best out of whatever player you think you are?
Well, you're hoping that you get the best out of yourself. But, even going on vacation and visiting, I don't feel myself when I go over there trying to catch up with those 3 hours. So for some reason, it is a task, but hopefully we got somebody that has to come over on the East Coast that feels the same thing when we play them as well. But it is a task, and it's unknown why and how you play so terrible or you don't play as good once you go over there. But it's been done. It's been done, but it's a tough task.
Yeah, and I think, by the way, the Jags are going to go on Saturday, and part of the reason for that, they've talked to, like, sleep people and all the study and the science and say, hey, it's better to just go there later and stay on the clock and don't have to worry about the body adjusting. And so that's what the Jags are going to do, and go on Saturday instead of Friday out there to L.A. this week. One last one for you, then I'm going to let you go for the afternoon. Rashean, Mathis on Mondays joins us talking Jags and talking the NFL. You just brought up size, and I asked you about the precision guy. Is the speed guy the one that you just don't ever want to face because you're afraid he's going to burn you? Or, I know you're confident in your abilities, but I guess I'm asking, like, what guy do you not want to go against out of the three if I gave you A, B, and C?
One that has a complete package, like let's say Megatron. He's big, he's fast, he run good routes. Routes. So you almost got to be perfect on days like that. So when you face Calvin Johnson and a guy that if you put your hands on him, he could run through your hands. If you're not good with your feet, he could beat you in this route. Or if you guess wrong, he can run by you. So those are the big, strong, fast, blessed guys that's able to get in and out of their break. Those are probably the toughest guys.
I got to imagine the talented guys with the chips on their shoulder are also not fun, like a Steve Smith or a Hines Ward. Always looking to hurt somebody.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Those are guys that makes you want to, meet them in the alley after the game because you know what type of energy they're bringing, but you need that energy. Those are the guys that you hate when you're playing against them, but you love them when they're on your team. So you have to respect those guys as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Interesting. I want to talk more about that as we go along with Rashean on Mondays. Just talk about the different types of receivers that you got to face and how do you attack them and study them along the way, and especially after you've seen them a bunch. I mean, listen, everybody's seen Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I mean, there are not a lot of secrets there, I wouldn't imagine. Now you just got to go get the job done on Sunday, and can you do it, or are they just a little bit better than you on a Sunday? We're going to find out with the Jags as they go to L.A. next Sunday. All right, Rashean, we're going to let you go, man. Appreciate you jumping in on a Monday and talking about a Jags win this time around. We'll see if we can do it again next week.
Exactly. Great. Thanks for having me, guys. Y'all have a great week.
See you, Rashean.
All right. That's Rashean Mathis. Mathis on Mondays. Had MOJO on Mondays as well in the 3 o'clock hour, so you can always go back and listen to the podcast, Action Sports Jackson. Check it out on YouTube as well. When we come back, Brent Martineau here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz back in the studios. Let's get Casey's reaction to some of this. Casey, I also want to know, how did people react this morning to Monday Morning Madness, our reactionary show?
Were they
and
mad,
what were folks
Casey?
Saying about the win?
All the madness.
Nothing to be mad about, but there's madness in a different way. Maybe mayhem
I like
in a
it.
different way. Should we change the name of the show already? Because the
I
Jags
think
got to win?
3 weeks in is the perfect time to change the name of the show.
We do it all here. We're a little unconventional at times on ESPN 690. Brent and Friends continues here on a Monday, a victory Monday. Jags beat the Colts 24-0.
ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Are you kidding me?
You've got 5 chances to win $1,000 every weekday at 8 a.m., 10, noon, 2, and 5 p.m. This is a nationwide contest message and data rates apply. Complete rules at ESPN690.com. ESPN 690 pays your bills on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Brent Mortno from Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 and a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 904-664-8214.
It's going to be a busy month at Best Bet Orange Park. The Greater Orange Park Open Tournament is back. This $500 no-limit hold'em tournament will be happening on Saturday, September 24th, with $120 satellites starting on September 21st. With plenty of parking and a safe and friendly environment, you'll see why Best Bet Orange Park was awarded the Best of Play in event, entertainment, and sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekend. Best Bet Orange Park.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Is your digital marketing strategy keeping you up at night? Do you have more questions than answers? CMG Local Solutions can help you take all the guesswork out of digital marketing. Let CMG Local Solutions create the best marketing plan for your global, regional, or local business. CMG Local Solutions has the right tools to fit your business's marketing needs.
Learn more at cmglocalsolutions.com/Jacksonville. That's cmglocalsolutions.com/Jacksonville.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
For survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties, Hubbard House provides free, confidential emergency shelter and services. Call our 24-hour hotline at 904-354-3114.
Progressive presents Forced Metaphors about bundling your home, auto, and other vehicles.
In hockey, it's the goalie's job to protect the net. And in life, your net is your home and auto, but also your boat, motorcycle, RV, or ATV. And your goalie is the round-the-clock protection offered by Progressive Insurance. Well, and also the savings you get when you bundle. So in this metaphor, you have two goalies, which is okay because, it's just a metaphor.
Forced Metaphors. Presented by Progressive. Bundle and protect today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
On the south side, we got 6 poly panels, and please make sure they're flush.
Kwame is converting everyone on the block to solar power.
Please get a crew to wrap up 202 South Twain.
He needs more certified installers before the sun sets on his business
team.
boom.
Let's pick up the pace. We got a long day.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's bedtime at the home of SiriusXM, but Conan O'Brien is still awake.
Turns out you don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen to the app anywhere, in your room, by the pool, at the
And Brad Paisley just really needs his beauty sleep.
Conan, I just really need my beauty sleep. Maybe really expensive boat, like a yacht.
The waves could rock you gently to sleep.
Don't encourage him, guy.
Oh, sorry. Night-night. Everything you want to hear lives here on SiriusXM. Get the SiriusXM app now.
It's the Blitz Scoreboard Show every Friday night at 9 p.m. on ESPN 690. Join Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and the Hall of Famer Kevin Sullivan for scores, analysis, interviews, and live video of games on the ESPN 690 social media platforms.
They have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl with Jimmy G than they would with Trey Lance right now because of the experience factor. All right. So to me, I think, I know what Dan's talking about. Can he get you the big game? Hell, he's gotten to so many big games before. Will he win it? I don't know. But he can get you there. That for sure we know.
It's the first captain of feet, the titan of the toes, my man Rex Ryan.
What?
You love that guy, don't you?
He's my guy. He's one of my top 3 favorite head coaches / managers of all time.
Who are the other 2?
You got Davey Johnson at number 1. Davey Johnson at number 1.
Yeah.
Bobby Valentine at number 2. And
Valentine's 2.
Rex Ryan at number 3.
So you're a love Valentine guy.
Oh, my. I love this dude. Love him. Mustache and glasses and all.
So you like the whole bit. Yeah. Valentine.
He was just desperate to be out in the dugout,
right?
man. He was very entertaining. Love the guy. And he was a good manager.
The Red Sox.
I have a big question. Maybe we should change this, save this for tomorrow. But Casey,
yep.
How are your Trey Lance cards doing?
Well, it's funny. It's not funny. I almost texted you guys right after it happened, but I pulled back. I decided not to bother you guys.
Okay.
But it's not good, Brent. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's a bad situation when when you saw the video of it. I'm wondering, he went through successful surgery today, they said, but like from the looks of it, I'm like, is he playing again? Like, that's how I felt when I first saw it, to be honest with you.
Especially a guy who relies on his legs so much, right?
Yeah, like, I'm not going to describe it on the radio if you didn't see it, but it was bad.
Brent, in English class, they teach you about a dangling participle. That's pretty much what Casey's saying the foot looked like yesterday.
It is what I'm saying, yes.
I know, but you know what was interesting about that? And I didn't see a lot of replays. I just saw the one angle, like the play, and it looked very innocent, It wasn't like a lot of times those kind of things will happen in the open field or on an odd sack, or it just looked like a typical play, and it went sideways on him. I feel like we see that in the athlete way more than we did before. A couple basketball guys. Who was it? Hayward, remember?
Kevin Ware.
Kevin Ware, and now Trey Lance, and I'm probably missing some.
Robin Ventura famously shattered that ankle on a slide into third, but we don't have to talk about that. That's fine.
I'm a little uncomfortable with the whole conversation today, but I get it. And I feel like I was thinking Trey Lance, okay, he's out for the season, but the immediate question is, are the 49ers now better off and have a better chance? Their odds went up to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a lot of people think so. Yeah.
But isn't that kind of – I don't like that. I mean, this kid – I hate it for the kid because I want to see how good these guys are. I want to see how good that draft class is. And I want to see how good Zach Wilson is. I want him healthy. I want Trevor to stay healthy. I want Justin Fields. I want Trey Lance. I want Mac Jones. I want to see these guys play a few years because I think they all could be pretty good. And some will hopefully be great, but, I think they all can be pretty good. Now we don't get a chance to see that, and I just feel for the guy because the immediate question is, okay, we got Jimmy G. And by the way, guys, 49ers got lucky. They didn't want Jimmy G.
Holy smokes, how lucky. Had this guy stashed on the bench. Excuse me, Jimmy G, you mind if we take that clipboard back for a second? Why don't you get on out there on the grass, Bubba? Hey, who saw that coming?
If I was Jimmy G, Casey, I'd go into the office today and I'd be like, I want that $20 million from my contract before.
I would too. I'd be like, yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, but y'all better pay it up because, it's such a odd. The whole thing is odd, Brent. I'll never forget the soundbite that we played last year during the playoffs where Kyle Shanahan was like, we thank Jimmy G for his service, but we both know, I swear he did it. And I played the sound without listening to it.
Future endeavors.
And the three of us were like, what is he talking about? And now he's his quarterback again. I wonder if there's a hidden storyline there. Jimmy G hates this guy because he tried to get rid of him 85 times.
I think Jimmy G is fine right now. He's fine. He's putting on a show. He doesn't even need a 1-year prove-it deal. He's doing it right now. This is it. This is the deal.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Football at 5 coming up on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. How big of a day was that for Trevor Lawrence, guys? That's where I want to go when we come back on ESPN 690.
Back in the day, crime was someone stealing something off the patio. Today, it's violent crime. Oftentimes, the bad guys hack into cameras and doorbells, steal your privacy, and break into your house while you or your loved ones are home. Criminals today are much smarter and more violent. You simply cannot fight today's criminals with do-it-yourself alarms. That's why you need a safe touch security and surveillance system with its 5 layers of detection and protection. Number 1, the safe touch sign. Crooks know to stay away from safe touch houses. Number 2, cameras using analytic technology that alerts the bad guys they are on camera while simultaneously alerting you, the homeowner. Number 3, entry alerts that notify Safe Touch before the bad guys even enter. Number 4, the exclusive Safe Touch two-way communicator that immediately alerts local emergency authorities. And number 5, the Safe Touch central monitoring center that is right here and not in some remote, out-of-state location. Don't delay. Demand is at an all-time high. Call and receive professional installation at no charge. 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com, state license EF233.
Hi, I'm Mike Holmes, professional contractor and TV host. I love helping people, but when it came to improving the water in my own home, I needed help and turned to the water experts at Connecticut to make it right. My water was causing visible problems throughout my home, and it got me thinking about the problems I couldn't see. Protecting my water using appliances and pipes, preventing stains and hardness buildup, and having clean, great-tasting drinking water are all important to me. But choosing the right water treatment equipment can be tricky. That's where Connecticut comes in. A Connecticut water expert will test your water for free and recommend the system that fits your needs and budget. Improve the quality of your water and your life with the Connecticut water treatment system. I'm so glad I did.
This year, CGC Water Treatment is celebrating 75 years in business. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com for your free assessment. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
September is here and fall is right around the corner, so they say. But you know what else is right around the corner? Your family-owned and operated dealer, Arlington Toyota. Right now, Arlington's got 100 new Toyotas available, and you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your new Toyota purchase. Arlington's even got 400 used ready to test drive and take home today. And Arlington's 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop in person and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durban is officially open. Whether you're looking to board your pet during a vacation or looking for a place for them to play during the day, look no further. Forever Vets Pet Resort has officially opened its doors with roomy, climate-controlled indoor play areas for big and small dogs, shaded outdoor play areas with a splash zone, and private cat condos including access to a cat tree-filled oasis. Your pet will feel right at home. Forever Vets Pet Resort will provide a comfortable place for your pets while you're away and ensure your four-legged friend is safe and happy during their stay. Take advantage of a free day of play to all new clients. And if you purchase one night of boarding, you'll receive half off your next night. Want to learn more? Give us a call or go to forevervets.com. You can also stop by for a free facility tour. We're open 7 days a week with extended hours for your convenience. Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durban is now open for reservations.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
What's up? It's Casey. Check out the podcast Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, wherever you get your pod.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL suspended Buccaneers receiver Mike Evans one game for his role in yesterday's altercation with Saints corner Marshawn Lattimore. He's not eligible to return until after Sunday's game versus Green Bay. ESPN's reporting Evans does plan to appeal his suspension. A statement today from the 49ers. Quarterback Trey Lance underwent successful surgery on his broken right ankle. The season-ending injury has a massive impact for Lance and the Niners. Notes ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler.
It sets back a development plan that the 49ers had for what they believe is their franchise quarterback. So now he's going to go into year 3 having just a few starts under his belt. 2 this year, played minimal football last year as a rookie, and then, he obviously had the small sample size in college at North Dakota State.
Jeremy Fowler on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Jimmy Garoppolo starts in Lance's absence. Browns defensive end Jadeveon Clowney out Thursday night against the Steelers because of an ankle injury. Police in Las Vegas say they're investigating allegations a fan in the stands struck Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray in the face with an open hand amid celebrations of Arizona's OT win over the Raiders.
Brought to you by Capital One Auto Navigator, where you can find a car, get pre-qualified instantly, and see your real monthly payment without impacting your credit score. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/Auto Navigator.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy. Essential Energy. Live fit.
Are you ready to go?
3, 2, 1.
Text the word TASTE to the number 70123 before 15 past the hour. That's TASTE.
Your next chance to win is tomorrow morning at 8. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. Get the complete rules now at ESPN690.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Casey Kurtz.
Yo! Well, what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him! This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Hey, let's get after it. Football at 5 on ESPN 690 on a Monday, a victory Monday for the Jags. We're having fun talking about the Jaguars, have been all day. In fact, Casey Kurtz, what was the reaction this morning, Monday Morning Madness? Good job holding down the house, 8-10 with you and Brian Middleton. And we get to see that fantastic duo again on overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up at 6 o'clock until – are you guys going until 7:30 today before the NFL, or do we have earlier games? Well, give me the lineup.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that same thing. The plan was to go to 7:30, but then the NFL said, "Hey, bro, the game starts at 7:15. Calm down." So I said, "Hey, Raj, we got a lot of show content we got to get in," and he said, "Bump you." So
yeah,
we are done at 7. Yeah, we're done at 7.
While you were talking to Raj.
Oh, so you actually –
I was going to say, yeah.
You at least get to go to 7. So that's good.
Yeah. No.
I didn't know if they would take you like the whole pregame all the way through like 6:15 or something. But so you get some Kurtz and Middleton in the 6 o'clock hour. How was the reaction this morning though on Monday Morning Madness?
Good. A lot of people saying, "Thank goodness Brent isn't here." Just a lot of
so
this.
We're happy. Today
is a really good
day.
show.
Cool.
This is world class stuff. We need more of this. So just a lot of good stuff. I will say though, this waking up thing, like before the clock says like 11, is brutal. Brutal.
I've definitely texted you in the morning and totally expect not to see a response until afternoon or 1 o'clock.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's brutal though.
It's brutal though. Hey, Aaron.
Yo.
The Jets win.
They
the
didn't
Jets
just
win. I mean,
they didn't just win.
It's 2 hours to get to this.
They didn't just win. They tried to Jets it up in the best way possible that they could, and then the Browns ended up brownsing harder than the Jets did.
What the world? And somehow the Jags didn't Jags.
Listen, I was with a Browns fan. One of my best friends in the world is a Browns fan. He had his kids out there with. We were at one of the fine eating establishments in our area, watching the game on TV, all hanging out together. And his daughter was wearing a shirt. It was a Cleveland Browns shirt. And the shirt says, "We always almost win." I was like, yeah, it's about right.
Yeah, not always.
Well, almost win, yeah.
Yeah, true. There's been a lot of blowouts there along the way, too.
That's true, too.
Yeah. It's listen, I sincerely, we've lived it, right? I do feel good for the Lions fan base today and the Jets fan base today. I like the flip in the NFL. The Raiders have a little bit of that. I've said this before. The Rams have done a little bit of that. These other the Bills, right, have done a lot of that. I mean, they've really been able to flip. The Bills are the greatest example. The Bills are now the benchmark. Like, you lose for 2 decades, and now you flip it into this, what looks like a perennial contender, and they're not going anywhere, I don't think. Even their bad isn't going to be that bad, and you hope every year they got a chance to win the Super Bowl. So can the Lions, the Jets, the Jags, the Browns, can they get into that? Well, that's not around the corner, it doesn't look like. But keep in mind now, Buffalo, it didn't happen overnight, but it also didn't take 5 years for all this to materialize. It took Josh Allen really taking a big step.
That's what it's. And then once you know you got the guy, they start dumping money all around the guy. So now he's got good wide receivers and a stalwart defense to keep the other teams off the field. But it all started with the quarterback for them, as it does for most teams.
Well, speaking of, how big was the quarterback's performance yesterday? And Trevor Lawrence was brilliant in terms of the pitch and catch game, the accuracy. He didn't make mistakes. Threw a couple up there that could have been mistakes, but he didn't. And I don't think he was like, into the week, and I just want to be able to say, hey, this is what I thought he needed to start doing. Not necessarily like Sunday, but at some point he's going to have to start doing this, like make the oh wow throw, the oh wow play. I guess the play that would be kind of oh wow that we just don't see in Jacksonville, but I do think other quarterbacks make. It was 1st and 20. He rolls to his left, and he makes a nice decision to throw on the run. I think it was Kirk that got it. Picked up like 26 yards, guys. They erased like 1st and 20. Boom. Just like that. And he knew exactly where he was, where some people actually thought in the press box that he might have gone over the line. He wasn't even close. Like, he knew where he was. So I was like, hey, that's a really good play. Like, that guy rolling to his left makes that throw, and you just went 1st and 20 to 1st and 10 on a 26-yard play. But overall, he didn't have like all these wild plays. He ran the offense, and he ran it with efficiency, and he mastered it. And so their game plan, what they wanted to do, Trevor perfected it yesterday to about the best of his abilities or any quarterback's abilities. How big of a performance was it, Aaron, for Trevor to have that kind of day?
Doesn't it feel like he kind of needed it? Like after that first game, you were talking a lot about his confidence in his offensive line, his confidence in his team, the play calling, all these things he has to feel comfortable with. And it certainly looked like that right out of the gate, too. Rashean mentioned, I think Mojo mentioned it, too. They got him rolling early. The play calling was nice enough for him that he was able to go 7 of 7 when he got out there. And then he went out for another, 7 out of 10 or something like that. But he had a tremendously accurate day. And it didn't seem like Doug or really anybody in the coaching staff was putting him in a position to really put the team in a bad position.
Yeah, they just executed well. I mean, again, pitch and catch sounds easy, especially these little 5-yard deals. But if you ask quarterbacks, like hitting guys on the run, slanting across the field, like that's not always the easiest throw. Casey, his ball placement yesterday, look at me getting really deep into the quarterback position in terms of ball placement right now. But I mean, I can see that stuff. And you learn a little bit about the game as you watch it and talk about it over the years. And I do think that's significant, especially when you have guys that can move a little. Like if you hit them in stride, that's good for maybe another 3 to 5 to maybe even more yards. If you hit it a little bit behind them, well, they have to stop and slow down, and that allows somebody to come make a tackle before the sticks. So I don't think there's insignificance to the accuracy that he showed yesterday, Casey.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brent. Love talking ball placement, but yeah, I thought he looked really good. And to your point, he was delivering the football in a good place for it to be caught. I'm not going to say ball placement again after that time, but yeah, I think he looked really good. And to me, the play that stands out the most, and he had a lot of good ones, is the 4th down early on the drag to Zay Jones. I said it this morning. I think that was the plan the whole time, and I think he wasn't open at first. Of course, Zay Jones, you know him. He got himself open. And running all the way across the field, Trevor still hit him in stride perfectly where it needed to be to convert that play. And that, for me, it happened early in the game, but that was the highlight throw for me, to be honest with you. And it was, 4 yards? I mean.
Yeah, and that was good. I'll tell you another one, though. The Marvin Jones throw where Marvin makes a nice play coming off his guy, kind of on like almost like a back shouldery type of play on 3rd and 9 early.
Yes,
like that was a big-time throw.
That was.
That's a big-time throw that's early, that's right after the turnover. So I agree with you, Casey. Some of those early throws to get him in sync, I think were really important. Guys making plays. Marvin later dropped one, but I don't blame Marvin for dropping it. I mean, his head got knocked off, his back almost broken too, and I could tell he probably felt some more heat coming on the other one. Like, it was amazing. Do you know, by the way, I tweeted this, first taunting penalty of Marvin Jones' career, as a little side note.
I saw
How about that?
That's, by
Isn't
the
that
way,
nuts?
Is that not the most scum rule in the NFL? You get absolutely cheap shotted and you get offsetting for taunting.
Yeah, it's silly.
That is horrible.
Yeah, like
Horrible.
there should be. I mean, listen, this should be like a court of law, right? I mean, you should be sentenced for things. You know? Like, and all 15-yard penalties don't get the same sentence. Like, that was ridiculous. He got his head taken off twice, and he gets up and he flexes.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of penalty? Like, that is just asinine, really. Especially when you're trying to promote player safety. You know, they do have some rules that override the other one, and so sometimes they won't offset. Like, that should be one, I think.
Yeah, I'm with that.
And, I mean, I guess you got to be careful, right? Because then you start taunting and it escalates. But still, man, that was like he got hit hard in the head there. That was like a legit penalty. And I'm not even so sure the taunting was that bad. He got up like he was Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, he got cheap shotted and got up stronger. He came up the bigger man. He said, "I'm bigger than you, bro, and I don't even have to cheat." And then he got flagged. The disrespect.
And then he got punished.
The disrespect. Come on, I should have said that to Raj when I was on with him about the show.
Well, I'm sure he wouldn't be listening to you. Know he thinks of his own stuff. Hey, Brent, let me ask you, because I asked Rashean what he thought. I'm not sure if I mentioned it to Mojo, but I think Rashean made a good point. I was talking about Travis Etienne. I asked him if he was worried at all. Oh, it was Maurice. He was talking about how it's still technically his rookie year. Do you think we need to dial down the expectations on Travis for the time being?
Yeah, I guess, but I'm not sure that's like a big story here today that we're like, oh, what's wrong with Travis? Oh, that was a waste of a first-round pick. Oh,
no,
I think
not to that
flashes.
degree. Yeah, not that. I'm just saying, like, previous to week one, we're all talking about the different wrinkles in this gameplay that Doug could be calling on to really cause some mismatches. And I have a feeling Travis Etienne won't be as involved in week 3 as he's going to be in week 12 for that reason specifically. I don't know if that changes how people feel about the way this team's going to play. Obviously, 24-0, you want to celebrate that for sure. I'm just looking at these other things going, is this a Colts thing or is this a Jags thing?
Yeah, so what you're basically saying is Travis Etienne ready, right, for like the big role.
Because the Colts played the run well.
Yeah, they did. Listen, James Robinson got shut down other than the one run.
Pretty much.
But he also had a couple of tough runs, like on 3rd and 2, you know. And I think this is less about Etienne at the moment, but I understand your point. And one thing we never know is maybe they're not comfortable with how well he knows an offense, and I have no idea. That's no inside information. I'm speculating.
Yeah.
Like maybe he doesn't know it as well as James, who's been in the league in an NFL offense and 3 years in, and or maybe he's not as comfortable in certain spots. Like I have no, and I doubt that because he played so many snaps in the opener against Washington. But for whatever reason, he's not getting the ball a ton. But when he does get it, I still see some pretty good things with Etienne. He also takes a hit like on every play.
He really does.
I mean, holy cow, he's been lit up a few times.
But he also looks like the fastest guy in the stadium at all times.
Yeah, so you got to keep getting him the ball. Like, I really understand the context of what you're saying here, but I almost wonder, Aaron, and maybe Casey can jump in too, like, is this really more about how much confidence they have in James Robinson? Like, that he can run and his productivity in the NFL, and they really like him and what they've seen, and he's off to a nice start. So maybe this isn't about Etienne as much as it is about, hey, we're giving it to James because he's earned it.
I like actually that point. I like how the split was yesterday. Granted, the game was optimal for the Jaguars. They can kind of choose how they want to do it once you're up 17-0. But Casey, James Robinson got the ball 23 times yesterday. I don't see him getting it too much more on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, let's get to 25. You know what I'm saying?
You feel better over there.
Dynamic with the football. I'm just saying, like, we got a couple of guys on pace for some pretty good stuff. James is on pace for what, 17 touchdowns, or more than that.
Tell me Kirk's pace.
Yeah,
I got to hear this.
Yeah,
he's on pace for like 26. By the way, James is. And
there you
now, go. So Kirk is on pace for 17. So, but listen, James is ready. I mean, he handled the load yesterday.
Clearly.
At 23, he got hit. That was
Clearly
a
ready.
pound-it kind of game.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it wasn't going to be this great yards per carry kind of game, and then, boom, breaks one off. I mean, we talked about with MOJO. That's the old MOJO way of doing it, by the way. Like, that was Maurice Jones-Drew. He might not look good on 17 of the carries. They might be stuffing him. They know what's going on, and then, boom, he breaks one, or then he breaks another one. And I just think this is more about James right now, and he's given them a lot of confidence, and he gives them a toughness. And I'm not going to try to take away from Etienne here, but they're different styles.
Much.
So when you talk about the Jags right now, All right, guys, let me just ask you this question. You look at the Jags offense, and I'm not sure it screams out, we're going to go beat you up, right? Like, that's not the MO. They're going to go dissect you a little bit. They've got a lot of different options. They're going to use scheme and design to get people open. But the one guy on their football team that says, I'm going to go run over you, is probably James Robinson. And so they want to use that element to be able to play physical football.
You know what I thought was interesting about yesterday's performance by the team is that if Michael Pittman is in that game, sure, maybe the Colts score. Maybe they score more than once. Maybe they have a better day overall. But even with Shaq Leonard in the game, you're still not shutting down Christian Kirk or Evan Ingram or Marvin Jones or even Travis in the passing or Zay Jones. Trevor's still having a Trevor day, even with Shaq Leonard in that game.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure he's completely 25 or 30. Maybe Shaq Leonard changes a few things here. He's a really good player. They were missing two really good players on their football team. But I tend to agree with you, man. That was more of a defensive scheme, and the Jags took what Gus Bradley gave them, and they stayed with it. And Trevor said it out loud after the game. He's like, listen, guys make mistakes against that because they want to take a shot. And we stayed very patient, and they did. I mean, the Ingram stat sheet is wild. It felt like 7 catches for 100 yards.
Yeah.
It was 7 catches for 46 yards.
That's right.
Which looks like, what the hell is that? It was a huge 46 yards that he gained, like way more magnified than it will show up on a stat sheet.
Feels like about 11 fantasy points to me, Brent.
It was.
Is that what it was?
That's literally what it was.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
good. So they even got Dan Arnold the ball too. Now, Casey, I had said I thought they needed 100 yards out of their tight ends. They never took the shot. Well, they tried to take the shot a little bit on one time to Ingram down the field, but nothing kind of in those corners, the seams that I thought they might do. They didn't even risk it. They just said, nope, we're going to keep taking this. One other thought, by the way, if Agnew catches the ball, is that one of those highlight plays for Trevor? Because he steps up in the pocket, climbs the pocket, Casey, another good term, and then softly launches that thing and shows touch. There's been a lot of people come up to me and say, like, hey, is he ever going to learn the changeup? He's going to have to learn the changeup. I don't really see that much with Trevor as I see it with some other quarterbacks, but that was a great example of the changeup, the touch, and he put it in a spot for Agnew to catch it. I think it was a tough catch, but obviously it went through his hands. That might have been one of those highlight plays that we're talking about with Trevor.
Yeah, I said it this morning. Luckily, you won the game the way you did, and that's kind of out of sight, out of mind. Like we didn't go back. We haven't brought up until right now.
Yeah, you'd hate to have the same situation that you had last week where Etienne dropped a touchdown.
Exactly. But to your point, Brent, incredible throw, world-class throw. I think
world-class throw.
It's a highlight because
he couldn't have made the throw better.
It literally went between his arms.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
he dropped it in the bucket from 50 yards out or whatever it was.
But Agnew was horizontal, so I get it's a tough catch. But I mean, where else do you put that ball if you're Trevor? It was a beautiful throw.
Yeah.
Well, guys, one other thing here. This is what I said to a lot of people today when talking about that. And Agnew could have had it. And if he does catch it, just, to add on, you're talking now about a 280-yard day, 3-touchdown day, no picks. I mean, now, whoa, right? It looks really good with
Nice
that
day.
one catch. But Agnew, we have to remember this. In Jacksonville, he's like a star last year. He's not like a receiver. He's a special teams guy. And so we probably have way too much expectation on Jamal Agnew. And I do think there was a degree of difficulty involved in that catch. That being said, he's still going to make the play. Like all that, you got to make the play.
Yeah.
They have to make some of those plays. And to your point, if it was in a critical situation. I love some of these numbers, guys. Christian Kirk, I think Aaron started to bring some of them up. Pro Football Focus has 12 catches, 10th in the league, 195 yards, 4th in the league, 2 touchdowns, 6th in the league, 80-yard receiving grade, 80.0 receiving grade, 7th in the league, 2.79 yards per route run. I don't know what the hell that means. 7th in the league, 85 yak, 7th in the league. I mean, his numbers stick out, and I like when those numbers stick out in favor of the Jags early in the season because I think the optics and the karma and the talk all go to that. Speaking of, Trevor Lawrence, 96.4 QB rating, guys. 96.4 through 2 games. 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And a 68% completion ratio now. That offset game 1 and made the numbers look like, hey, that's the kind of quarterback they drafted. And at the end of the day, that's what people look at.
Yeah.
So I really, these numbers, Josh Allen has numbers that look really good through 2 games. The whole team does. I mean, they're +5 in turnover differential, which I think leads the NFL right now.
They're 3 off of last year's total.
Yeah, I just, again, what are we doing here? Are we getting carried away with one win?
Reaction Monday.
Listen, I think it's impossible when your franchise has won 4 in the last 2 years to get carried away with any win on any given day. We should be celebrating as we are. And by the way, it's not just the Trevor Lawrence love and that passing attack. Here are some numbers we should all love to see as well. Christian Kirk targeted 6 times, 6 receptions. Evan Ingram targeted 8 times, 7 receptions. Travis Etienne targeted 3 times, 3 receptions. Zay Jones targeted 4 times, 3 receptions. I mean, the guys are there for Trevor when he needs them.
Hey, speaking of getting carried away, I said 2 things this morning that were a bit reckless about Christian Kirk. I'll get both of your takes on them.
Time out. So this is an official backpedal? Do we need to
I
turn
like
on
when
I
reckless is different than carried away now.
This is Casey's 520 reckless moment of the day. Go ahead.
I can't tell you how strongly I feel about this, and I'm expecting pushback.
All right.
But Brian Milton didn't give it to me because it's Overreaction Monday. You got Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
You got Keenan. You got Christian Kirk.
As of now, or is this a prediction?
When it's all said and done in Jags history.
Okay, I don't think you're going too far out on a limb. Like, as long as the man stays with us for a little bit, sure.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put that out in the Twitterverse and see how the reaction is?
Yeah, that'd be good.
You're going to have the Mike Sims Walker stands come for you.
Yeah, co-sign it. But, like, I started the statement this morning with the best wide receiver since, and then I came to Allen Robinson, and then Brian was like, nah, bump that. And I was like, you're right. And then I got to Jimmy Smith, and I was like, we can't do that. We can't go. We can't do that. But, yeah, I've already put him up there. And then the second thing, this one isn't really reckless. That one was the one I expected pushback, but I'm glad everybody co-signed.
Cool.
The man's underpaid.
Huh.
Underpaid.
2 games in, I wouldn't sign off on that. But you keep up these numbers, and, yeah, you may want to rework that deal.
Underpaid.
You might be getting a $30 million deal for Christian Kirk at some point.
Well, here's the deal. Isn't he like somebody said top 20 receiver paid in the NFL? Does that sound about right?
Yes.
But he's not like top 10. He's not top 12. I think somebody said he's 18th.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, right now he's top 20 receiver in the NFL. So, and he's outperforming. He's really a top 10 receiver in the NFL. Again, these are 2 games. It's a small sample. I will go with Mojo on this. We need to see more. But a lot of times what happens with numbers and stats, we've been around this stuff long enough. The trend gets set early. And even if you're a little lopsided early on, it makes up for some other things later on. And we still think that's who you are. And so numbers can skew your perception a little bit, even if it's maybe not all reality. It certainly is off to a nice start in a lot of facets for a guy like Kirk. So I'm going to put that out there, Casey, though. Jimmy, Keenan, Christian Kirk at the end of the day for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're talking, and by the way, you're talking like, in 3-4 years down the road.
Yeah. I'm not talking 2 games in, but I feel that way 2 games in. I also may have said, you got Tony Baselli, right? And then you got Fred, he'll get in, and then Jimmy Smith maybe, and then Christian Kirk. I may have said that as well. So I kind of lost my mind a little bit.
A little bit. You were excited.
But I felt strongly about it, and all the people in the chat were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And Brian was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah.
It's mob mentality. It kind of takes over for a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to see if the whole Twitter universe is saying, yeah.
Well, that's how the show went this morning, by the way. If you're wondering. It was really
I like
Christian
it, though.
Kirk. Yeah.
Listen, you got me thinking. You got me thinking a little bit. And I did say this the other day now, coming off All Access, and I meant this. And by the way, the All Access bump is real right now. Trayvon Walker before the opener. Boom.
Look at what you're doing for this team, man.
Boom. And so who knows who we'll get this week. But it's been good. And I said that when I left that show, and I meant this more from like when people get to know him in town, in the community, when they see him, they're going to like him in almost a Calais kind of way. And then he can play, and it looks like he's really good. And I tweeted, I was like, if in 2 years Christian Kirk isn't one of your favorite Jags players, I'd be really surprised. And I meant that on the field, but I also meant that off the field. I think this guy is like just all world, like teammate, guy, locker room dude, like Calais-esque. And we've had a lot of those guys in the past around here, but I think Kirk fits that bill. We'll be back, Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Don't forget, we got overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up at 6 o'clock. And then we hand off to the NFL game. They've got a doubleheader tonight, and I think we're going to bounce back and forth, Casey told me, on ESPN 690 throughout the night on some Monday Night Football. Keep an eye on Tennessee losing, so the Jags have first place all by themselves in the AFC South.
Crazy.
And at 7 o'clock tonight, sneakers in Jax Beach. Andre Sisco joins us for Jags Report Live. You can catch that on Fox 30. We'll be right back from the golf club at Southampton and the Dream 18 in the books for 2022.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered showers, a rumble of thunder into this evening, and partly cloudy overnight with still a few brief showers and in the lower 70s. Your Tuesday will be partly sunny, pretty hot, with an isolated shower and highs in the upper 80s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys. No markups, no retail games, and never a commission.
If you want to hit the road this summer in a fuel-efficient ride that's just right for the journey ahead, then listen up, because you need to rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. If you've tried to rent lately, then you know rental companies are short on inventory, but not our friends over at Arlington Toyota Rent-A-Car. Arlington has a whole lot of rental stock ready to rent at a great price. Plus, renting a Toyota is the best way to try it before you buy it. 2022 models to rent. Just go to arlington.com, reserve your rental, and discover just how good Toyota Rent-A-Car can be.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open. Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjax.com.
Quitting nicotine isn't easy, which is why Tobacco Free Florida offers free tools and services like free 2-week starter kits of Quit Aids. We're also trying out music to help motivate smokers to quit.
Not another cigarette would be late. Now there's someone living tobacco free. It's you.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Ready to swoop in the fall of 2022? The UNF Ospreys are ready with a lot of momentum on campus. New improvements at UNF Arena with basketball season right around the corner and tickets already on sale. The fall schedule underway in volleyball and men's and women's soccer, also men's and women's cross country. Get the latest news, schedules, results, and information on tickets for all things Ospreys at UNFospreys.com. Join the Osprey Club, attend a game or a match. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida right now at UNFospreys.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I did a site visit, and the space is absolutely incredible.
Estate's Reiki Clinic is opening another studio across town.
But there's a lot to wrap up.
But staffing an entire office requires more than just deep breathing.
And at least 4 new practitioners.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive Snapshot can save you money based on how you drive and how much you drive. So the safer you drive, the more money you could save. Now, if you didn't hear that because you were yelling at another car while driving, let me say it again. You need to calm down. Yelling is just making everyone as stressed out as you are and letting them all know that you definitely aren't trying to save with Progressive Snapshot. And if you did hear it the first time because you weren't yelling at another car, nice work. You'd love Snapshot from Progressive because it rewards safe drivers. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California and North Carolina or from all agents.
When you download the Home Depot app, taking on big or small projects starts with a tap. It's your pocket-sized toolbox for getting more done. Image search helps you find what you need with a snap. Store mode pinpoints exactly where to go to get what you want while you're at our store. Or just tap to arrange for easy curbside pickup, all from the palm of your hand. It's the app that's made for doing. The Home Depot app. How doers get more done.
You can't get much for $5 these days, unless you go to Wendy's for a $5 Biggie Bag. Get your choice of double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken BLT, plus 4-piece nugs, fries, and a drink, all for just $5. That was smooth, wasn't it? That's how you're gonna feel when you get that Biggie Bag at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes 4-piece nuggets, small soft drink, and small fry. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Frank Reich is on the hot seat. He should be on the hot seat. I like him as a person, but the results speak for themselves. I sent this tweet out the other day. I said, remember that time the Colts were a quarterback away from contending for a Super Bowl? You thought you fixed it, went from Rivers to Wentz, and now you're here with Ryan. I thought Ryan maybe was the answer, but now you're telling me the first 2 games of the season, you tied to the Texans, and then you get blitzed by the Jags? You get blitzed by the Jags, and your quarterback, 195 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Yeah, the seat's hot.
Hey, you settle down, Jay Williams. What do you mean the Jags? A lot of people are going to learn that.
Oh, disrespect
Not
from
just
Jay
Frank
Williams.
Reich.
Yeah.
Frank, I do agree with this. Now, Frank Reich could be in some trouble. I'm a believer, and I asked Rashean Mathis this. I think the Jags just sent Indianapolis to the tank.
You think they're throwing it all away?
I think they're done. I mean, I don't think they're rebounding this season. Like, there are 0-2 teams, and especially in the AFC South. I'm not trying to tell you the Jags are going to win the AFC South and they're going to be the 10-game winner in the league.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that the Indianapolis Colts are not that good. And
because the expectations were they were going to win the South and go into the playoffs on a white horse and all that stuff.
No, they have gone from favorites to win the division to, shoot, man, I'm not sure they win 6 times. Like, I don't know. Is that too strong? I mean, you guys think? I mean, they're beat up a little bit. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but
I'm not there
you're beat
yet.
up. That's unlucky. You know. I mean, you're unlucky. You're
Sure.
unlucky, and they obviously can't overcome some of those things.
I'm not there yet. You want to tell me Matt Ryan is too old to play football? I wasn't there 3 weeks ago. I'm kind of getting there now.
I'm there.
You want to tell me that the Colts are a 6-win team? I'm just not there yet. They got the best running back in football. They do have a good offensive line despite not showing up for the Jaguars game. They do have a good defense despite not showing up for that Jaguars game. There are guys on that team. That team's got to be bigger than a 6. If that team can't win 6 games, then yeah, the seat should be rightfully blazing hot for Frank Reich. He should be out of there before the end of the season.
I'm there. That's a bad football team.
It's not that good, right? I mean, they're overrated. Like, the whole thing's overrated. Their offensive line's overrated. Their defense has good players, but it's not going to be like electric. Like, teams are going to do that to them. And sometimes they've got good enough players. They don't have unbelievable players. Their defense is built better than theirs. They really don't have a ton on the outside. We talked about that before we even knew Pittman was out. And so Jonathan Taylor's really good. But is he going to go for $150 every game? No, he's just not, because people are going to stack it up against him. They'll look good at times. I mean, again, they're not incapable. There's a difference.
Before this game, you're talking about Naheem Hines being dangerous, and now suddenly Jonathan Taylor's just okay. I mean, this team will put it together at some point. The question is, will there be enough of the point afterwards for it to mean anything? That's a good question. I don't know that it does.
Why didn't they use Hines?
Yeah, they really didn't.
And that was weird because after the first play, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, me
They're
too.
going to use him on it's going to be a Deebo Samuel situation from Naheem Hines, but that wasn't it.
I mean, they threw him a couple of times, but you're right. They didn't use him as a pivotal part.
He was absent. I mean, listen, you want to talk about garbage time, then don't count the fourth quarter, because everything was garbage in the fourth quarter. The game was over at the start of the fourth quarter. And so, I don't understand the game plan. They tried to outsmart themselves. And this shows me that the Jags are in their head, because they came out and they only gave it to Jonathan Taylor twice on the first drive in 7 plays. They didn't try to establish anything, Casey. They just said, hey, we're going to watch this. We're going to do this, and this will open up the run because we know you're trying to stack the box against. Well, you don't even know if the Jags can stop the run. They haven't stopped the run in 2 years. Why wouldn't you test that out? And you have nobody on the outside, by the way. You don't really have guys to throw to. The slowest play in the NFL in the last 2 years was a throw over the middle from Matt Ryan to Mo Alley Cox. That thing looked like it was in slow motion before he even hit the remote control.
Yeah, there was a lot of slow motion out there. Yeah, I don't understand the not running the football part of it. They stopped him, sure, but that's all they got. That's all they got. I can't believe Matt Ryan is that bad. I am blown away by 2 straight weeks. He's just not good. Not at all. The Colts are bad. The Colts are horrible. I don't know still how you tie Houston, and on the surface, we know what Jacksonville, well, we think we know. But I don't know how on the surface you have Jim Irsay, who is so furious about losing to Jacksonville. You tie Houston and lose to Jacksonville, and your coach still has a job. Pull a Jerry Jones and do what's right and fire the coach, because then we can take a full circle and say, look what the Jags caused.
Now, look, I know Matt Ryan threw 50 times in week 1 against Houston, but he connected on 32 of it. He threw for 352 yards that game, and he did throw a touchdown as well as an interception. He wasn't atrocious in that first game.
He was until they started running the ball. Look at what happened in that first half. He was garbage. They ran the ball, they got something going, and then they were dumping it to him out of the backfield. He did throw for a lot of yards. They stacked up.
In his first half of play on his new team with his new playbook and his new players, he did not play well. You're right.
That man's bad. I stuck up for him all offseason,
right.
And I hate to tell Brent that he's right, but if that's what he looks like, and it's not going to get much easier, by the way.
Because you usually see running backs fall off that cliff. You don't necessarily see it so much with a quarterback. You see maybe you go, oh, this guy maybe isn't what we thought he is. You don't really see, oh, he was good, and oh, this guy's trash.
He looks Chewbacca slow out there.
It's rough.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and guys, on top of that, to your point about Irsay and Reich, and this is why he's on the hot seat, it's just as much to do with these 2 games, Casey, as the last 2 games of last year. Was that all on Carson Wentz now? Or was that on Frank Reich, too?
Well, now it's starting to look a little different now, isn't it?
Because he got out-coached big time yesterday. And listen, Peterson's kind of, it's almost like Reich's the mentor a little bit, so maybe he's got an upper hand, but I'm not sure he's supposed to have that kind of upper hand. They just did everything right, and Reich could not do anything right. And, hey, here's why I want you to get on the train, all right, Aaron, about the Colts? Mm-hmm. Because they got the Chiefs coming to town next week. And then they have the Titans coming to town. And I don't know what the Titans are, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be like a divisional game that they could lose. Then they go to the Broncos, and the Broncos have played like crap. But you got to believe the Broncos are going to be better than they have been. And at the very least, it's in Mile High on a Thursday, where I always give the credit to the home team on a Thursday night in the middle of the season. Then the Jags go back. I have sincere questions. The Jags might just have a blueprint to beat Indianapolis the way they whooped them the other day or yesterday. And so I don't think they're going to beat them 24-0. But I kind of feel like right now, unless these teams really change over the next month, I think they're going to beat them again.
It's just funny to me. You mentioned the Broncos. I was joking with Casey in the break about the Broncos because we were watching videos, or I was watching a video earlier today of the fans counting down on the clock so Russell Wilson didn't forget where he was at in the clock.
I saw that too, yeah.
But
they did that a lot, right?
Yeah. But I have a feeling that Russell Wilson's kind of going through the same thing that Matt Ryan's going through right now. It's just like they're getting all their pieces together. They're getting used to what it is, and they got to settle in a little bit. To the point that was made a little earlier today by one MOJO D, you really don't know till after week 4.
Yeah,
but for the Colts, it may be 0-4 after week 4.
Well, real quick then, guys, and you guys are going to finish up the show after we take a break. I got to run over to Jags Report Live at Sneakers, and I don't call it smell-o-vision, but you might want me to shower. You could smell me through the TV, so I'm going to do that too on the way, just to get a little personal here. But
you're going to shower on the way?
Before I go over
degree
to
of difficulty 10.
I got an RV, guys. Listen, I just jump in the back.
Nice.
But we have Andre Sisco on the show. Jags Report Live tonight, 7 o'clock on Fox 30. How about the Raiders? The Raiders are now 0-2.
Yeah.
And that is I thought the Patriots would be a big story coming out of this thing this week, 0-2. But I think it's the Raiders. They spent all that money. Guys, Devontae Adams, 2 catches, 12 yards.
Yeah, it's a
2
rough day.
catches, 12 yards. That's
Rough
what
day.
you turned all that stuff into? I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, they definitely singled out Devontae Adams, tried to shut him down yesterday, but they still almost won the game.
Well, I know. They were up 20-0.
Should have.
And then they blew it. Like, that's even worse, though.
Well, that's a McDaniels thing. I hope he gets what's coming to him as a coach, man. McDaniels, I hate him from all those years in New England. It's nice to see him fail every once in a while.
Good.
Okay, so my point is, like you just said, and Mojo said it earlier, you don't know who people are through 4 weeks.
Week 4.
Well, I can tell you this, Aaron, and you know this as a Jets fan, right? I can tell you who the Jags are before week 4 a lot of years. All right?
Yeah.
Like, and I understand. It does, with the Jags, it's that context is true. I don't know exactly who they are. I do think they're talented. I think they're well coached. I think they're going to battle people. I don't know exactly who they are. That's fair enough. But I'm starting to wonder, do we know? Like, I think I know who the Colts are. I think the Colts aren't very good. Like, the Colts are going to be disappointing. I don't think the Raiders are bad. But I got a feeling now in that division and in the AFC where it's loaded, they're going to be disappointing.
Oh, I think the Broncos are going to be worse than the Raiders in that division.
Maybe that's possible. Maybe both aren't that good.
I feel even not even looking at rosters, just coaching staffs, it seems like Nathaniel Hackett might be out of his depth currently. Maybe he settles in and the team turns things around. But it seems like if you're looking at all 4 of those teams, their rosters, their coaching staffs, to me, it seems like the Broncos are the odd man out. Even though the Raiders are 0-2, Broncos are 1-1. Broncos have had an easier start to the year.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. And I do think there are ebbs and flows to the season. There's going to be a team that starts bad and then they win 5 in a row, and those things happen. 0-2 is a big hole now, and look out in Cincinnati. One more thought before I go. Casey, you concerned about Joe Burrow at all?
Nope.
What about his offensive line, Casey?
Them boys are trash.
You're concerned about them, huh?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think he'll be all right. But, yeah, the offensive line is somehow worse, even though they got new players. It's sus right now in Cincinnati. I will give you that, Brent, but I think he will be okay eventually if they can keep him, like, physically alive.
Upright, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that was a heck of a win for Dallas now. You see Cooper Rush?
Yeah, they're better with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I told you guys about Cooper Rush.
You mentioned Joe Burrow, Brent. I saw a stat while I was talking to Casey in the break. He's got like Joey Harrington, David Carr numbers now when it comes to how many times he's been sacked in his first 2 years. It's up there.
You know what's crazy about it, all right? We just talked about Indianapolis, and over the years they've tried to find the quarterback. If you look at what the Bengals have done, they've tried to fix it, guys. They have invested in the offensive line. They've invested draft picks and now free agents this offseason. They just stink at it.
They stink at investing.
Horrible.
No, they stink at scouting the offensive line.
Like Casey stinks at Trey Lance cards now.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they really have tried and swung and missed and swung and missed and swung and missed. It's not as big a deal as like Indianapolis where it's like Rivers, no. Wentz, no. Ryan doesn't look like the part. But, I mean, Cincinnati, go look it up. Like, they have tried to fix the offensive line, and it still looks awful. It's pretty incredible.
Wait, don't go. I just saw the most incredible thing on ESPN. They are live at Buffalo for the the pregame show, whatever. There's like a tailgate, the Buffalo fans.
Bills Mafia, yeah.
Okay, so there were some people standing on an RV. Okay. One of them dressed as Elvis with a guitar.
Makes sense.
There was a lady on the RV, and the guitar was going to be used to smack the lady in a certain area. And when I tell you ESPN cut off of this thing so fast, like the guitar was swinging, and they're like, no.
Gotta go.
And they cut up close to Orlowski. He's like, what is happening? Yeah, that was an incredible moment that I just witnessed.
Gotta love Bills Mafia, man.
By the way, quick note, if you have Gabe Davis in fantasy football, he's inactive tonight against the Titans. And Bills, don't blow this. We need some help against the Titans.
Need that.
All right?
Come on.
Do your part. All right, I'm getting out of here. Thanks to everybody who helped out with the Dream 18 from the golf club at Southampton, and had a fantastic day. Jags Report Live, 7 o'clock. I'm heading to Sneakers in Jax Beach, and we'll have the Action Sports Jax team. And Andre Cisco will join us, so come on out. Meet us out at Sneakers in Jax Beach. Casey and Aaron got you the rest of the way. Guys, we'll see you at the Bullies House of Cards tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for all the help today. especially in the early part of the show. Appreciate it. Brent and Friends back on ESPN 690 right after this.
ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Are you kidding me?
You've got 5 chances to win $1,000 every weekday at 8 a.m., 10, noon, 2, and 5 p.m. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. Complete rules at ESPN690.com. ESPN 690 pays your bills on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Celsius Essential Energy is Jacksonville's official energy drink of summer, and Jacksonville summers are fueled by Celsius. If you see ESPN 690 out and about this summer, come grab an ice-cold Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
Call me, Mark Anajar, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
See dealer for complete details. Jeep Adventure Days.
Tailgate at the stadium in style with a brand new SUV from Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. We've got Compass, Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, and more, much more. Why not drive the most celebrated SUVs on the planet? We've got a great selection, and we can even factory order one just the way you need it. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside.
I-295 and Commonwealth Avenue.
Westside.
Hi, I'm Pauline Savannah, Aerospace, and a hyper-connected mentor and graduate of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. Being a member of Jack's Chamber and involved with JWBC has provided me with many great new relationships. Success doesn't come without strong support, and the people of JWBC have provided exactly that. JWBC furthers my confidence in that deliverance by providing a strong group of women business leaders to connect with, learn from, and lean on. For more information, visit jackschamberfoundation.org.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8214. 904-664-8214. That's 904-664-8214.
If you play a sport or coach a sport or watch a sport in Jacksonville, there's a really good chance that uniform was ordered through Baker Sports. Look good, feel good, play good. Custom sports apparel at Baker Sports since 1997 and a staff that wants to help you. They are experts in the business and make outfitting your team a seamless endeavor. The homegrown Jacksonville business is now the top choice for apparel all over the Southeast. Baker Sports, uniforms, hats, shoes, embroidery, screen printing, and 3D printing. They do it all at Baker Sports, helping make your team look good.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Couple minutes to go. They call it Brent and Friends. The friends are here.
Friends are here. Check.
Well,
Brent, not so much.
Just for definition. I don't know if we're friends. But anyway, Aaron Schachter, Casey Kurtz, Brent, and Friends for a couple minutes. And then overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. Unconfirmed if those guys are even friends. But I know it's a good show.
Listeners heard a nice little preview of with your Overreaction Monday recap.
Yeah, we got a lot of overreaction to come still on the program later today up until 7 o'clock. It's a good program. You should check it out. All right, Aaron. I saw comments this morning. I've seen comments during the show.
Yep.
The people, Sawyer and YB specifically, need you to address the absolute and utter shredding that Tua Tagovailoa did to the Baltimore Ravens in a 6-touchdown performance after you called him trash.
Well, before I address Tua, because I will address this, let's address the fact that the Dolphins were getting whooped by those Ravens.
They were getting that
for most of the game. So I don't want to hear any nonsense about Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins first in the AFC East, blah, blah, blah. They're not winning the division. McDaniel's not a good coach yet. That team ain't there. Ain't there.
Unbelievable.
That being said,
unbelievable.
You may have the best trio of targets in the entire league on that team. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and your boy Gesicki out here just getting open on every play. And Tua underthrowing Tyreek downfield. I was telling you, Casey, I'll tell the guys in the chat, listen, man, I spent at least 30 minutes this morning watching on YouTube every single throw Tua made in that game, complete and incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is not winning them anything. If anything, he's holding them back. He's hitting every throw over the middle. He's hitting every throw from 0 to 10 yards. Now, if he hits Jalen Waddle, chances are that throw is going for a bit longer because Jalen Waddle is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is breaking tackles left and right, juking people, running down into the end zone. This man was unstoppable yesterday.
He really was.
And then Tyreek Hill cramping the whole game. The man gets over the leg cramp, gets over the stomach cramp, comes back in to run a 50-yard route, has to come back 40 yards for the Tua pass, and then run it back down, comes out with another cramp. I mean, the man is doing it all for Tua right now.
You're unbelievable.
I'm just saying, Tua is going to disappoint those fans and that franchise. I feel you, because I've been down that road with disappointment before. I understand how it works. But if you put these eggs of hope into this Tua basket, it's going to be a letdown for you. Just saying. It's going to be a letdown. That's all I got to say on Tua.
Unbelievable. You know what's funny? Last time I checked, they don't keep track or give fantasy points for underthrown balls that were eventually caught.
You're right. You're right.
They do for the touchdowns.
He
6 of them.
Look, Tua gets credit for the completion. Tyreek gets credit for the catch and the run, but that is not, no one's talking fantasy here. You guys are talking in the chat some craziness about the Dolphins being the best in the East, like they're going to beat the Bills in the record. They're going to have more wins than the Bills.
I don't know.
What are you guys doing?
One team's 2-0. That's all I know. And it's the Miami Dolphins.
Ugh.
Hey, real quick before we go, the Jets to beat the Browns.
What about them?
You told me about Garrett Wilson. I made maybe not an overreaction Monday about Christian Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an overreaction Monday about Garrett Wilson?
I don't think it's an overreaction. Anyone who's followed the Jets, I know Glenn Appleman, a few other guys in the chat sometimes take a peek at the Jets. Garrett Wilson, maybe within the next 2 or 3 years, may become the best receiver in the history of that franchise. Not saying a lot, even though Don Maynard is the best wide receiver on the Jets, Hall of Famer. But like even guys you would think to be up there, like an Al Toon or a Keyshawn Johnson, didn't do too much damage on that list. So it's very similar to when you look at the Jaguars case. We were talking about it earlier. Your boy Christian Kirk with an amazing start to the season. But once you get past the two legends, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardle, that list gets pretty shallow when it comes to big pass catchers in Jaguars history.
Christian Kirk absolutely has an opportunity to climb the list, and he will the rest of the season because, as we've documented, Christian Kirk is always open. That'll do it on a Monday for Brent and friends.
For me.
For Aaron Schachter.
Not for you.
Oh, I got another hour to go.
That means the people got another hour. Come on.
The people have another hour. OT with Kurtz and Middleton. Coming up next, Aaron Schachter. Have a good night.
See you, bud.
It's bedtime at the home of SiriusXM, but Conan O'Brien is still awake.
Turns out you don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen to the app anywhere, in your room, by the pool, at the
And
laundromat.
Brad Paisley just really needs his beauty sleep.
Conan, I just really need my beauty sleep. Maybe really expensive boat, like a yacht.
The waves could rock you gently to sleep.
Don't encourage him, guy.
Sorry. Night-night. Everything you want to hear lives here on SiriusXM. Get the SiriusXM app now.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
It's going to be a busy month at Best Bet Orange Park. The Greater Orange Park Open Tournament is back. This $500 no-limit hold'em tournament will be happening on Saturday, September 24th, with $120 satellites starting on September 21st. With plenty of parking and a safe and friendly environment, you'll see why Best Bet Orange Park was awarded the Best of Play in event, entertainment, and sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekend. Best Bet Orange Park.
We appreciate everyone who listens to the show, and we know so many of you are out there working hard, some hard labor on top of a roof, or maybe it's a construction job, and with those jobs comes a lot of joint pain. And if you have joint pain, we want you to call QC Kinetics. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. You've put it off long enough, and it's time to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees, your back, your shoulders, and hips from all that hard work. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Don't assume the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Call QC Kinetics today. Stop putting it off. Call now for a free consultation, 904-274-5522. In Mandarin and Ponte Vedra now, 904-274-5522. Lots of people here have done this, and they are living life to the fullest, pain-free. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. Free consultation by calling QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522, 904-274-5522.
Koala, koala, koala insulation.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. That summer heat's right around the corner, and so are those high energy bills. Don't just sweat it out, do something about it. Call Koala Insulation today for your free evaluation. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Well, that ding-dong doorbell company is at it again, admitting to giving out customers video footage over 11 times without the customer's knowledge or consent. This is outrageous. It's inexcusable. It's a breach of your privacy, freedom, and security. When a security company teams up with big tech companies, it means a privacy invasion of your home. It means your information is being sold and distributed without your knowledge. SafeTouch is on your side. SafeTouch equipment is installed by pros. SafeTouch doesn't collaborate with any big tech company. SafeTouch keeps your family secure without invading your privacy. SafeTouch allows you complete control of all your video footage and security, and you can be sure with SafeTouch that your doorbell and camera footage is safe and controlled by you and only you. Choose SafeTouch to fight crime and keep your privacy at the same time. Call SafeTouch today and check out what real security is all about and get free installation when you do. SafeTouch Security, doing what others can't for over 35 years. Call 888-723-8682 or visit safetouch.com. State license EF233.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. Ends 10/1. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
For Gabe Davis with an ankle injury, not expected to play tonight versus the Titans. Monday Night Football, 7:15 Eastern, ESPN TV. The NFL suspended Buccaneers receiver Mike Evans 1 game for his role in yesterday's altercation with Saints corner Marshawn Lattimore. He's not eligible to return until after Sunday's game versus Green Bay. Evans plans to appeal his suspension. 49ers released a statement. Quarterback Trey Lance underwent successful season-ending surgery today on his broken right ankle. So now Jimmy Garoppolo, again the starter. That could actually work out for San Francisco, according to ESPN's Ryan Clark.
If you're the San Francisco 49ers, although you wanted to get Jimmy G out of there, you hope to get something in the trade. This is just a lucky happenstance. Now with Trey Lance out, you saw the immediate impact of Jimmy G being comfortable, being able to get the ball to Ayuk, get the ball out to Deebo Samuel, and this team now has a chance, even with a quote-unquote backup.
Police in Las Vegas say they're investigating allegations a fan in the stands struck Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray amid celebrations of Arizona's overtime win against the Raiders.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Here we go on Overreaction Monday. It's Action Sports Jax Overtime, and it's ESPN 690. We were up this morning at like 8 a.m. doing some Monday morning madness, and we're not done until we get done in 59 minutes. But we got plenty of overreaction for you, more Jags talk. We'll get you set for the double header on Monday Night Football, which you were here right here on ESPN 690. But before we do that, Brian Middleton checks in with the traffic.
Busy drive as you make your way from Mandarin out to Orange Park this evening, West Beltway northbound, starting before Old St. Augustine Road. Right now, it's at least 25 minutes to get from the 95 exits out to Blanding. And the ride is much nicer as you make your way through Arlington East Beltway southbound, though you are tapping the brakes around Atlantic Boulevard. Give yourself at least 17 minutes to get from Heckscher down to JTB. And this traffic report is brought to you by Koala Insulation. Heating and cooling account for almost half of a home's energy use and expense. Koala Insulation helps you save money on energy bills, reduce your carbon footprint, and live a healthier life. Schedule your free evaluation at koalainsulation.com. With Jacksonville's most frequent traffic, I'm Brian Middleton.
Jeez, is that not like the longest read of all time, Brian Middleton? Holy cow. Listen, you just show up on time. You know, we wouldn't have to play the big long read and you get all upset about it for no reason. You know?
So all you have to do is show up on time.
All you had to do.
It's an easy fix.
Meanwhile, I got a camera upside down. You're standing up in the shot. What are we doing, Brian?
I'm getting my Pat McAfee on, man. I feel more alive when I'm standing up and talking.
It's funny you say
I
that.
feel like I can get into it a little bit more on a Victory Monday, on a Overreacting Monday.
That's true. It is still Victory Monday. It may be 6:03 p.m., but it's still Victory Monday here in Jacksonville. 1-1. 1-1. Not mad at it. The Jags beat the Colts. The Jags shut out the Colts. The Jags dominate the Colts. The Jags do all the words that mean those same similar things to the Indianapolis Colts here in Jacksonville yesterday. And what a glorious day it was. The defense, incredible. Trevor Lawrence, efficient, making the plays. Christian Kirk making things happen. James Robinson looking as good as ever. Brian Milton, what else is there to be said about what the Jacksonville Jaguars did to the Indianapolis Colts yesterday afternoon?
I got a question, Casey Kurt, since you were asking me a question that I'm not going to answer straight up.
Sounds good.
How long do we get to celebrate, right? How long do we get to celebrate this win right here? There are a couple of different factors before you give your response that I want to throw to you.
Please do.
It is the Colts. One.
Fair.
You've been talking about how bad the Colts are.
I have been. Since
all
8
day.
Yeah.
And even yesterday. That's one, right?
That's true.
Two,
as well. Yeah.
It's the Colts. We beat the Colts at home. You know what I mean? So, like, though the win is exciting, I mean, it's It's something that we've done. There's been very few things that we've done positive over the past couple of years, but this is one of the things that we continue to do.
Yeah, listen, bro, we're not in the locker room. We ain't got no 24-hour rule.
Oh, no. Well, but I'm asking.
We got time.
When do we start looking forward?
It's only 6 p.m.
Tuesday?
It's only 6. It's barely been 24 hours.
6:04.
Yeah.
05.
It's been like, what, an hour and 4? Like, we still got time. Why wouldn't we still celebrate? Jacksonville.
I didn't say
Jags.
Stop celebrating. I'm asking, when do we start looking forward?
At least.
As media members.
Not today. Wednesday.
When do we start breaking down tape?
We break it down on Wednesday. They play on Sunday at like 4. That gives you the extra couple of hours. I mean, we got plenty of time to still celebrate. Why are you trying to move on?
Did you get your kettle corn? Because
No.
you're not, yeah, that's how I can tell.
I didn't get my kettle corn.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Is that coming?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I have no absolute idea.
Do they know about this? I don't know if you talked about it.
I'll update the people. So the Dream 18 golf tournament was today. Brent Martineau put that on at the golf club at Southampton, right? Good event. A lot of good vendors out there. A lot of good food highlighted for me by the kettle corn. They put the kettle corn on the ESPN 690 hole. So last year when I was out there with Stuart Weber, I was demolishing the kettle corn left and right. They should have stopped giving me kettle corn, but they said, nah, you good people. And apparently you know Brent. So they just kept feeding me, which was awesome. This year, obviously, we had some Monday morning madness that we had to take care of. We had a show this morning at 8 a.m., and here we back are at 6 p.m. We're built different here on ESPN 690. Nobody else is doing that in this city. Go on. Go point to them. Let me know. Get them in my DMs. So nobody else is on at 8 a.m. and on right now, especially sports radio in this city. Come on. But what was I talking about?
Kettle corn.
Yeah. So we did the show this morning, and now we're back on, and I didn't get to go to the Dream 18, which I heard was a great time. I heard it was a great event, as it always is. Brent does a great job. Everybody else out there from Action Sports, Jax, Marcel, Liv, Stewart, everybody does a great job. You know what I'm saying? So they were out there, I wasn't, and I still haven't got the kettle corn. So if you were out there, like John Bachman, I saw Mike Burrish was out there.
Yeah,
the Jacksonville Armada, the Jacksonville Sharks, all kinds of people were out there. And I'm leaving people out, obviously, but Brent has the list. I don't have the list. I just know from what I saw on Twitter. And everybody else got the kettle corn, but we didn't get the kettle corn. But hopefully we'll get it soon. That's what we're talking about when we talk about kettle corn.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you were still explaining to.
I was. I got lost
there.
a couple times. I had to throw a shot in there. You know I had to. So that's where we're on the kettle corn. But hopefully tomorrow, when I'm at Divoli's House of Cards, that's the plan. That Brent's going to bring it to me when we are down there, because he's about to do some TV at 7:00. They call it Jags Report Live. And you can tune in and watch, because we are done at 7 tonight. Usually we go until 7:30 on Mondays, but Monday Night Football starting a bit early since it is a doubleheader. So we will only take you up until 7:00. No Jumbo Shrimp baseball tonight, but they are back home tomorrow for the last homestand of the season, believe it or not.
Wow.
So to answer your overall question, we can start looking ahead on Wednesday.
Okay.
Because we're still going to let this thing ride out. I know we talked about this morning, Brian Middleton, but not everybody was with us this morning. What a football game.
Oh, yeah. No,
what
absolutely.
a domination.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan who? Didn't even look like a top what back in the league? 15, 25, 16? I meant 26.
Thought you were calling the play for a second.
I was calling the play. I mean, he
snapping the ball.
He looked like a regular running back against this Jags defense.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan got old and slow way quicker than I thought, because the Jags made him look old and slow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it was domination from Jacksonville, and, come to expect it with the Colts coming to town. And they've beaten the Colts. Last year, they beat them for many years in a row. But a lot of those games have been like, go back and look, 6-3, 9-6. It hasn't looked like it looked yesterday. Yesterday, it looked like domination, and it really was.
Well, yesterday, it looked like you have a team that buys into a coach.
It's a good call.
A coach that is responsible and couples that with actual ability, right? Because coaches have ability as well to scheme, to teach, to put their players in the right positions or the best positions for potential benefit. And it looks like you have a team that's bought in, a defense that's coming together, and also a quarterback that actually has everything under control and has time to have everything under control. And so, when you have all those things on the list, I don't care what team you are and what team you're playing, you got a chance to really shine and look really good. And that's what the Jags did yesterday. And so now moving forward, even though we're still celebrating the victory, I don't mean moving forward like we don't care about this win that just happened yesterday, but as you continue down this season, how do you build upon this right here? I don't get the energy or the feel or from any of the pressers afterwards or any of the transcripts that were sent to the email where I went and reread through what, Coach Peterson was saying or what Trevor or whoever else was saying things that they're going to rest on their laurels. And it didn't even sound like the regular professional speak that you're supposed to say these certain things so that you don't come off as too cocky or, of course, we're focused on the next game. They seem very genuine on, like, let's celebrate this right here. I'm happy that this happened. But also, we need to continue to build on this. The good things that we've done and the good things that we did in yesterday's game is great. And now how do we take that next step to get our second win? To be competitive with whatever team comes up. It just so happens it's going to be the Chargers next week.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be the Eagles the week after that. I think it'll be the Colts right again or some other team right after that. So that is going to be the next challenge because I think that we're going to see certain spots in this season where the team looks like this and not just because you're facing the Colts and you have like an off-the-chain defense. Like it won't be that. It'll be just because we're better than the team that we're playing and we're executing. And when we're executing, plus because we're better than the other team, it's going to look like that. And then I think we may still have moments, not quite as bad or as long as the Commanders game, but I think you'll still see that. We're still young in a lot of key positions here, and it's still some of the big pieces are still new acquisitions. So it's going to take more time for this to be, I think, a continuous thing to look like this. Not necessarily shutouts, but as dominating.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. How do you build on it? And they will try to do that in LA, which, by the way, the West Coast has not been kind to the Jags, to say it lightly. They've had a rough time out there. They had an extremely rough time in SoFi Stadium last year. I was there. It was ugly. My travel plans were just a little bit worse.
I was about to say, that was more ugly.
Yeah, I mean, it was very similar, but that's how bad the Jags played against the Rams. They will have their shot at the Chargers. Keenan Allen, will he be healthy? Yet to be seen. Justin Herbert, will he be healthy? Again,
test them ribs out and find out.
Yet to be seen.
Test them ribs out and find out.
I'll tell you what, the Jags have all of a sudden, with all the sacks they've gotten early in the season and the forced fumbles, that's all of a sudden a team that Justin Herbert would not want to face if he's not 100%. Because he's going to get hit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how good Justin Herbert is, and he's great. But the style he plays, he might have to tone it back because of the injury, but he's going to get hit one way or another. Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker are getting back there.
Well, and what is he? About 6'4", 6'5", ain't he?
He's big.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stand tall in the pocket. Look over the line, okay? We gonna touch them ribs. We ain't trying to hurt you, okay? We just trying to tackle you, man, huh? We'll make sure everything's okay with you. We gonna test you out over here. Send a report to your doctor.
There you go.
Mr. Herbert.
You love calling him Mr. Herbert. Hey, Overreaction Monday. We got some overreaction coming up. This tweet popped up on my timeline. I want to read it to you, Brian Middleton. It says, and I quote, "If the playoffs started today, the Jags would be a 3 seed and would be hosting Lamar Jackson and the Ravens for Wild Card Weekend. Hashtag Overreaction Mondays."
Give me a hell yeah.
I'm ready.
That was the tweet of the broadcast Don.
Give me my credentials now.
Co-host of the show, Brian Middleton. Give you the credentials of the playoff
now.
game? Listen, I love it, right? You know, if it ended in week 2, the Jags would be in a great spot.
That'd be a great game.
Hate the matchup.
I know. Woo, especially after that insert bench remove, you got a heck of a one because Lamar Jackson.
Do I?
Oh, man, he had well, you saw the game.
Yeah.
Have you seen the stat line? Did you hear the stat line, though?
He was great.
Holy smokes. Anyway, that'd be a great game, though.
Yeah. So there's a little just Overreaction Monday for you.
Playoff watch.
Playoff watch. And to your point, listen, it's week 2. Week 2 ends tonight, and the Jags could be in sole possession of first place in the AFC South tonight. And here's the thing. I know it's week 2, so some people are hearing that. They're like, yeah, bro, it's week 2. I understand it, too. The Titans are playing the Bills. So I don't think it's if. I think it's when.
Oh. Okay.
And what happens from there? You know what I'm saying?
All right.
You got to play the Chargers. Tough team. Don't get me wrong. Then you got to play the Eagles. Tough team. We will talk about this more on Sunday because this, for me, again, we're not moving forward from Victory Monday. We're still here until at least next week, Wednesday. But I do not think Brandon Staley's a good coach. I think he makes a lot of bad decisions. I think he's indecisive at times. The Jags, unquestioned, will have the head coach advantage when they go to L.A. Doug Peterson is a better coach than Brandon Staley. That's how I feel about it. And I'm not going to change my mind because I've seen enough from Staley to say, you wild for that. And most of the time it doesn't work. Sometimes I'm like, you wild for that, and Justin Herbert bailed you out. But he will be outcoached by Doug Peterson.
Is there ever a time where you're just like, nah, that was a good call, Brandon?
Very rarely.
Oh, okay.
Very rarely.
All right.
I always end up watching the Chargers. I don't know why. I like Herbert. Like, I don't love him, but I like him. I'm always end up watching the Chargers in the 4 o'clock window, it feels like. But anyway, when they are in the 4 o'clock window, I should say. But that's one advantage they will have. Doug Peterson's a better coach. So that will be interesting to see the chess match with that. And then, again, if Herbert's not 100%, anything can happen, Brian Middleton. Anything can happen. And I've stood by this the whole time, looking ahead to 2 weeks from now. I've said this since the start of the season. I said it in the offseason. I've said it since the day they hired Doug Peterson. I'll say it again. Doug Peterson will find a way to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I've said that the whole time.
If he got to suit up himself.
They will steal one in Philadelphia. I've said it. I will stand by it.
Okay.
I don't know how much I fully believe it because the Eagles are a better team.
Sometimes you got to speak it into existence, man.
I've been speaking it into existence since the summer. They will win that game because Doug Peterson will will them to win in front of his old squad, in front of his old fans, the old owner, the old GM, all them boys. He's going to say, look what y'all did to me. Y'all casted me out, tried to make me the scapegoat, and then he's going to beat them in Philadelphia. But we got plenty of time to break that one down. We got plenty of time to break down the Chargers one. But we only got so many Victory Mondays here in Jacksonville, and what a feeling it
is different.
It's different.
It's different.
It's different. And listen, it's Victory Monday for a lot of reasons. If you're a Florida State fan.
Oh, can't tell you nothing. Can't tell a Seminole nothing right now.
3-0? 3-0, the Florida State Seminoles?
I'm over here, as the official station for the Florida State
you better believe
Seminole football team, I have nothing but love and respect and belief in you guys. You know what I mean? There are other teams in the state that might have started off shining brighter, but have since fell to the wayside. But you know what, Florida State? Michael Norvell, you know what? I believe in you guys. The way you guys just continue to put the wins up after terrible losses past couple seasons, after it looking like, boy, I don't know if Mike's even going to make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to be 3-0 right now, I won't say regardless of how the season plays out, but you guys should take a moment, or maybe you did on Saturday night or, Sunday or whenever, Friday, whenever the actual victory happened, because it was Louisville. Like, that was such a crazy game because I was watching. Listen, be proud of yourselves, okay? And, who knows what? If you're 3-0 right now and you get a couple of other wins, I don't know who else is on their schedule. I'm sure Clemson somewhere on there.
They got to play Clemson.
Forest,
they got to play Wake. They got to do both of those things, but they play Boston College this week.
That's doable. That's doable. It's probably going to be always a tough game with Boston College, but
it's more than doable. The Florida State Seminoles will be favored in that game if they're not already. I'm not sure if the line is out, but first time since 2014, I want to say. I had the stat yesterday or whenever I put it out there on Twitter. It's either 2014 or 2015, and if I just keep talking, I will be able to tell you that it is indeed the first time since 2015 Florida State started the season 3-0. And they have a chance to go 4-0 against Boston College. So Florida State Seminoles and
good for them.
Jacksonville Jaguars fans, they're feeling pretty good.
Should.
Another fan base that has a Victory Monday is Florida Gators fans. Florida Gators fans and Jacksonville Jaguar fans also both share a Victory Monday today. If you are a Gator and a Jag, it's double Victory Monday.
Very mature of the way that you're talking about the Gators right now. Really quick, Casey, before you go further with that.
Yep.
I saw some stat from some sport outlet. This is the first time in 3,625 days that the Giants, the Jags, the Jets, and one other team, the Lions. What in the world?
Yeah.
I do math in my head, and it's not right, but I can, approximate. So it's 365 days in the year, 366 on leap years. And I try to just divide that number by 10. So it's almost 10 years. So it's like 9 seasons?
Yeah.
What were you doing 10 years ago, Casey Kurtz? Not driving, I tell you what.
I was not driving.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Man.
I was not even having my permit, to be honest with you.
All right.
It's a good stat, by the way. And the last thing I want to add just before we go to break about Florida State and the Gators and then simultaneously being Jags fans.
Okay.
There's no doubt one fan base feels better about their team than the other. And that fan base, their team resides in Tallahassee. They lost Jordan Travis.
And they pulled it
And
out.
Tate Rodemaker said, he came in.
He was looking not good.
And he said, and the fan said,
Yeah.
And I said to Coach Kevin Sullivan during the Blitz Scoreboard show, who Kevin Sullivan follows Florida State, I said,
It didn't look good.
And then he turned it on.
Yeah.
And then he started playing, and I was like,
Yeah.
And they win the football game. Unbelievably. They figured out how to win in New Orleans. They did it in Louisville. Mike Norvell's the guy for that job. We've all said that. We all said, I think Mike Norvell's the guy. Mike Norvell's the guy. He cemented that. He willed his team to win 2 straight games that they should have at least went to overtime with LSU. And they found a way to block a PAT and win the football game. They lost their starting quarterback, who's extremely dynamic, and they still win the football game. It's incredible. But nonetheless, it's Victory Monday for the Jags, it's Victory Monday for Florida State, and it's Victory Monday for the Florida Gators. A good week for football fans up here in Northeast Florida. We take a break, overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. We take you up until 7 o'clock, and then we got football right here on the station. We got the Bills and the Titans Monday Night Football. The Jags, listen to it, because when that one ends, the Jags will be in first place in the division after week 2. It's been a minute, but it's finally back. The Jags on a Victory Monday over the Indianapolis Colts. We continue to break it down next. Overreaction Monday continues right after this.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered showers, a rumble of thunder into this evening, and partly cloudy overnight with still a few brief showers and in the lower 70s. Your Tuesday will be partly sunny, pretty hot, with an isolated shower and highs in the upper 80s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys. No markups, no retail games, and never a commission.
At CDW, we get how to achieve calm amidst the chaos of a hybrid workforce.
Before I check our security updates, I unwind in my desk massage chair.
So I hear. But with Google Chrome OS orchestrated by CDW, you get built-in security with no reported ransomware attacks ever, and simplified management so you can stay relaxed.
Sounds good, but I'm keeping the chair.
For proactive security, trust Chrome OS and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Chrome OS.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Paid for by GovMint.com.
The 1920 to 1938 Buffalo Nickel, a true American classic and one of the most iconic coins in history. It's been more than 80 years since the last Buffalo nickel coin was struck. But now, for a limited time only, full 1-pound bags of original U.S. government-struck Buffalo nickels are being released to the public. That's right, you can own a full pound of 1920 to 1938 classic American Buffalo nickel coins, all in very good collector condition, with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-973-3098 now to secure a full pound of collector's-grade U.S. Buffalo nickels struck during the Roaring '20s and the Great Depression. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack, valued at over $10, free with every order. Call now, 1-800-973-3098 to secure your full pound bag of Buffalo nickels before they're gone. 1-800-973-3098. That's 1-800-973-3098.
Koala. Hey, I'm Carey.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. That summer heat's right around the corner, and so are those high energy bills. Don't just sweat it out, do something about it. Call Koala Insulation today for your free evaluation. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now. 904-664-8214. 904-664-8214. That's 904-664-8214.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
Hey, it's Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jax. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jax on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jax. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Hey, let's keep it going on Overreaction Monday right here in Jacksonville, Florida. One overreaction that isn't really an overreaction because it's just the cold, hard truth if you're listening in Indiana. I know I got some family in Indiana that's listening. Sorry, Grandma. She's a Colts fan. Shut out by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Shut out!
It'll be all right, Grandma.
She'll get over it.
Tighten up.
Hey, why
That's your grandma?
That's my grandma.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I'll take that back, Grandma. I don't know if it's Kurt's or not, but
It
Casey's
is not.
grandma.
Yeah, Casey's grandma.
I apologize for the strength of
That's
the tighten
okay.
up. I
That's
mean,
okay.
still tighten up, but in a respectful
She
way.
knows. See, my grandma's funny when she'll text me. I'll see if I can pull this up real quick. She loves the Colts from Indiana, and she'll text me and Amanda because she knows Amanda's a Jags fan, pretty diehard. And so my grandma, she just got a puppy too, by the way.
Oh, good for her.
So she sent me a picture of the dog that they were watching. I sent her a picture of Blue. You know Blue?
Yeah.
Sleep on the couch. My grandma said, not a great start. Ryan threw an interception. The receiver should have tried harder to catch. Blue needs to wake up and watch.
Oh, Blue's like good luck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Blue never woke up. Well, she did eventually, but
Wow.
not for the game.
It got a little dark there
Yeah,
for
it did for a
I was
second,
like,
but I brought
worried.
it back. Not for the game. She slept through the game for the most part. But yeah.
Casey,
Sorry,
you want to know why I don't feel bad for Colts fans besides the fact that I'm not a Colts fan
What you got?
or your grandma, right? Though
Yeah.
I'm sure she's a lovely woman.
She is.
Listen, Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, and then y'all follow that up after y'all kicked Peyton out with Andrew Luck. And
Yep.
granted, you didn't get to the very pinnacle, but I don't feel bad for y'all.
Nah.
Go through this struggle.
Go
Feel
through
it.
Go through it.
Marinate it. Let it sit in your soul for a moment, for a couple of seasons.
And then the funny part is like the struggle consists of a playoff berth with Phillip Rivers, a near playoff berth with Carson Wentz, and then now might actually be the struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're bad. They're like, we missed the playoffs by one game. The Jags are like, can we win 5 times?
That's all we want.
You know what I'm saying? If we could just play the Colts 5 times, we would have 5 wins. But
I wish I had something queued up. Talk your talk, man.
Anyway, Overreaction Monday, a couple of overreactions from the weekend. And I will start with this one. I told you this morning after we got off the air and you said some things like you wild for that or something.
Okay.
And just some kind of flying takes. If we're working out this segment on the fly, but I love Overreaction Monday. The Dallas Cowboys are better with Cooper Rush.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They
You
just
wild
are.
for that one.
They just
Can't
are.
do it.
I can't really tell you why because I don't understand it either. But Cincinnati's got a pretty good defense. Cooper Rush now, he started a game last year, figured out how to beat the Vikings, did it again. Took him down the field when he had to. Nice little field goal kick from their kicker, Maher, I believe is his name. And, it's game, set, match. Figures out ways to win, man. Cincinnati's a good team, and they figured out a way to do it. Micah Parsons is legit. That's not an overreaction. Micah Parsons is really, really good. But, Dallas, if Cooper Rush is just going to keep winning you games, you might as well ride with him.
You big dummy.
Hey, it's Overreaction Monday.
Okay. Oh, no, Casey, I'm going to go with one that's a bit less off the Dame's point, jumping off the Dame's point.
Sometimes you got to call it as you see it, Brian Middleton, but what do you got?
Yeah, well, we're going to go with this. Tua, I'm going to chop your last name up, so I'm just going to be like Tua T, and be real with you, that should be your new nickname, the way that you showing out. All these people out here that was doubting you.
Aaron Schachter included.
All these people that said that, look, he don't got the arm, he don't have the ability, he went to Alabama, they had all the best wide receivers, and that's why he was showing out. Well, guess what? He got 2 really good wide receivers, so it's like Alabama part 2. Did you see anything from the game? Any highlight? Tua will make a Pro Bowl this season. Mark my words. And
really?
He may not go because he's like, I'm still playing. Now, you heard it here first.
That's true.
Overreaction Monday. I had to remember what day it was.
It is Monday.
Yeah.
And this is Overreaction Monday on Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. We didn't bring this up all day, and it kind of feels like a downer to bring it up, but I have to. I have to do the service. Did you see what happened with Aiden Hutchinson yesterday?
Did I?
For those that didn't, you were locked in the Jags game. I understand it. He had 3 sacks, 5 total tackles, 1 for a loss as well on the run. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, how can I overreact to Aiden Hutchinson having 3 sacks? Because I'm not sitting here telling you that I wish he was here, because that's not the case. And I started thinking, and I'm like, all right, number 1, number 2 overall picks in recent years. Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, I think of Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz. A lot of things come to mind. And that's where I get to Overreaction Monday. And I tell you that, mark my words, these 2 are the best 1-2 picks in the NFL draft in the last 10 years. Easy. And they will be for the next 10 years. These 2 guys are going to have really good careers. There's probably some I'm forgetting, but it's Overreaction Monday, and I'm not worried about that. What I'm telling you is, week 1, Trayvon Walker, dominant. Absolutely dominant. He made plays. He had interception from a D lineman. Think about it. Week 2, didn't fill up on the stat sheet that much, but his presence being out there, his ability to still disrupt things without actually getting any sacks, open things up for Josh Allen, open things up for Arden Key, open things up for Roy Robertson Harris, open things up for Adam Gotsis. His presence was enough for the Jags in that one. And then Aiden Hutchinson, it was a rough week 1, but if you're going to get 3 sacks in week 2 against Washington, all right, we going to see. I think Aiden Hutchinson might be a good player. It is Overreaction Monday, Brian Middleton, but I think Aiden Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker will be the best 1 and 2 pick duo we've seen in a long time and will see again for a long time.
I don't know. I don't know if that's an overreaction. I'm struggling, and I want to pull up Wikipedia, but I don't want to actually discount that. That feels right because it benefits the Jags.
It's a good take.
So I'm like, yeah, let's go with that. Okay, Casey. This is one that I personally don't think is an overreaction, but I'm sure that the people at Rocky Top will feel like it is.
All right, what you got?
There's no way that Tennessee deserves to be in the top 25. Y'all can't tell me differently. This ain't 1990. This ain't 2005. This ain't 2006. I can't remember when they stopped being, really good.
Yeah.
Is Philip Fulmer back? Who's the coach?
Heupel.
Oh, that's
From
right.
UCF.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know, man. 11?
Yeah.
There's only 10 teams better than Tennessee? After the 3rd week, only 10?
Yeah.
And then we got 50 states. And a territory in Puerto Rico.
We do.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
No knock to people that, go to Tennessee. Those athletes out there, great job, all right? This is all for entertainment. But some of it is serious. I looked at that top 25, and I don't know what were they ranked last week. But you don't
15, I think.
You don't just jump. Yeah, you just don't jump to 11. Unless you were like Florida when they beat Utah, and all of a sudden they were up there. But I'm just, I texted you about it because I was like, maybe I'm out the loop. I'm doing traffic. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving back from Charlotte. I'm doing everything but, actually watching the rankings and all the other games over the weekend. So maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
Maybe they beat Alabama, then had a doubleheader and beat Ohio State.
Yeah, it's possible.
You know what
they
I'm saying?
do a lot of those doubleheaders.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. The Jumbo Shrimp do it, so I'm just like, maybe they're trying something new. They're expanding the playoffs, so maybe they're trying something new. Yep. Man, 11th. I see you, Rocky Top. My bad. No way you're supposed to be there, though. Overreaction Monday.
Hey, good news for Tennessee and all the Tennessee fans is they got a cakewalk this weekend as they play the Florida Gators. And that's where my overreaction will come in. But this one might actually not be an overreaction as well. The Florida Gators are the same team that they were last year.
You a hater. I see. Okay.
Listen.
You're a hater. All right.
Listen, I've been off this team the whole time. I've told you since the beginning that this was not going to be an easy or good season for the Florida Gators, right? They got lucky and beat Utah in a game that they shouldn't have won. They almost lost to USF. No disrespect to USF. Got a lot of friends that went there. Yeah. I got a lot of friends that went there.
Oh, okay.
Right? I think Olivia Tasley went there, as a matter of fact. No disrespect to USF. Been on campus a lot, out in Tampa. I know USF well. For a while, I thought I was going to go there.
Disrespect part coming now, though, USF fans.
They have no business beating the Florida Gators. They have absolutely no business beating the Florida Gators. And they didn't, but they should have. The Florida Gators got lucky. The Florida Gators got lucky to win the game. Anthony Richardson was very bad in the football game. That's not an overreaction. But the overreaction that might be the true reaction is the Florida Gators are at best okay. They will lose to the Florida State Seminoles, and they're going to lose a lot of the games they have coming up. They will lose to Tennessee. Probably embarrassingly so. Billy Napier, following the Dan Mullen train, will not run the football. The Gators have a guy that has the last name of ETN as well. There is a relation. They're brothers to the one here in Jacksonville. He's dominant with the football. He's incredible running the football, and Billy Napier won't give it to him. He's like, nah, bro, you know what? 8 carries a game. Perfect. Great. Exactly what we wanted. No! You run the ball! It's not an overreaction, Brian Middleton. The Florida Gators, they're not back.
Okay.
They're not back. They're going to lose to Tennessee. They're going to lose a lot more this year. They fooled us in week 1. The overreaction was when I lost my mind about the Florida Gators in week 1. This is just reality. It's going to be tough in Gainesville the rest of the year. Meanwhile, the Florida State Seminoles are excelling. I think the Florida State Seminoles are going to surprise a couple of games as well. Watch out, Clemson. That might be an overreaction.
Yeah, Dabo on line 1 for you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. Casey, I got one more.
Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Listen, I know everybody has their own opinion, and their opinions are wrong. And honestly, this isn't an overreaction, but it'll be labeled as one. Lamar Jackson is the second best quarterback in the league. Sorry to tell you, I know you got Aaron. I know Patrick Mahomes is there. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow just went to the Super Bowl. Y'all love him. Aaron Rodgers is out there. Discount double check. I'm with it.
You wild.
You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady, go. Go Brady out there. I call him go. Yeah. Daniel Jones out there just going undefeated. But listen. And his stat line, it's not against a Colts defense. Sorry. This defense just shut down another NFL team. It was the Patriots, but held them, I believe, to like 7 points. It was a dominating performance for the Dolphins the week before. Huh? Lamar Jackson, 300-plus yards passing.
Yeah.
Bunch of touchdowns. 100-plus yards running. Touchdown. Now, it came at a loss. I don't know how you even go to sleep. I think you do kind of go to sleep if you're Lamar Jackson ultimately, because you're like, boy, my contract about to be big. You hear me?
Yeah.
My contract gonna be big. All I gotta do is not get hurt. That's it. And be real with you, depending on what hurts, what gets hurt, and how late into the season I get hurt, it may be big anyway if he's actually still doing stuff like this.
True.
This is beyond video. This is hard to do on a video game.
It really is, because I be playing them, and I can't do all that.
And the other dudes are trying.
They're good. They're a good unit. The Dolphins are a good unit.
Hard, Casey.
They're trying literally as hard as they can.
So I understand. I get it.
And Lamar's like, I'm just going to tear you apart.
Exactly. I get it. You got so many names you can pull from. You know, some people, Buffalo, I see you on line 1, Green Bay, I see you on line 2. I get it. All right? It go Patrick Mahomes and then Lamar Jackson. And don't push me to cement that order right there. Don't push me after yesterday's game, okay? Lamar Jackson's your second best QB. Not in the AFC, okay? In the NFL.
Yeah.
Overreaction Monday.
There you go. I like it. I got one more for you as well before we go to break.
Okay.
So I'm looking at the NFC North, right? You know how I feel about Kirk Cousins. He's significantly better than Kyler Murray. He'll prove that tonight when they go to 2-0. And I'm looking at that division, and I'm like, all right, the Vikings are like the class right now. They've overtaken the Packers, and I feel that way in week 2. Then I'm looking at the rest of the division. I'm looking at that Packers game last night, and I'm like, this is underwhelming, right? If the Bears would just let Justin Fields throw the ball, they might win the game. Justin Fields is out here in 2 games. Cole Kmet doesn't have a catch. Mooney has 2 catches. And the Bears are like, we're going to run it.
That's that Eber.
We're going to run it again.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is like, can I please? They're like, no, we're going to run it. And then they're going to lose. But extremely underwhelming for the Packers, which is going to make me say something very wild right here. You ready for it?
Okay.
The Lions are good. The Lions will beat the Packers on multiple occasions this season. And I know they only play 2 times.
Let it sit. Let it sit for a second, Casey.
I'll sit on it. That's how I feel about the Lions.
Yeah, that's good. You had to let it sit that long. I like that one right there,
what I'm
Casey.
saying?
I like that
You know what I'm
overreaction.
saying? That's a good one. Listen, I like what the Lions are doing.
Yeah, I like the overreactions, Casey, from you especially, that actually look like they could come true, though.
Mm-hmm. That's one of them. Low key. Packers, I am extremely underwhelmed with the Packers. They play defense. I'm cool with it. The Lions might play some defense and some offense. They play just, by the way, when the Lions play offense, they play just enough defense. Like 37-31. Just enough. But as long as you play just enough, it's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
But here's the thing. The Lions are out there scoring points in 2 games. 71. And here's the crazy part. They don't have Jameson Williams yet. They're going to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Jared Goff over here like,
Jared Goff is now proving my point right again. What would you rather have, $19 million and Jared Goff or Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
I've never seen Jared Goff do what Kyler Murray did yesterday.
Yeah, that wasn't impressive. I'll give it to you. There's so many more overreactions we could have, but I'll finish it on that with the Lions.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's definitely some takes to be had about as you look up and down, like all of these teams. I'm sure someone's got some thoughts on the Raiders that are a bit overreactive. How about the Broncos? You know? Got plenty of teams you could still overreact about, but we just don't have enough time because we got Monday Night Football coming up in about 20 minutes time. Before that, though, Brian Middleton, how about some start bench remove on Monday?
Absolutely.
Want to do that? We will do that. We will do that after the break, and then we got Monday Night Football. So stick with us. Start bench remove. If you're interested in disrespect, this is the spot you want to be at because that's what's coming up right after this break.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Paul Gray, founder of Gray Matter Distillery, inviting you to check out the new home of Jacksonville's first craft distillery in beautiful Atlantic Beach. Since 2014, we have been the proud distillers of such iconic local spirits as Carr Vodka and Live Oak Whiskey. In our new distillery, you can enjoy one of our handcrafted cocktails made using only the freshest ingredients for only $8 a drink. Enjoy a cocktail, sample small batches of vodka or whiskey, or take a bottle home. Pick up your very own Gray Matter Distillery shot glass for free when you mention this ad. Come see us this weekend, and remember to please drink responsibly.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
If you play a sport or coach a sport or watch a sport in Jacksonville, there's a really good chance that uniform was ordered through Baker Sports. Look good, feel good, play good. Custom sports apparel at Baker Sports since 1997 and a staff that wants to help you. They are experts in the business and make outfitting your team a seamless endeavor. The homegrown Jacksonville business is now the top choice for apparel all over the Southeast. Baker Sports, uniforms, hats, shoes, embroidery, screen printing, and 3D printing. They do it all at Baker Sports, helping make your team look good.
September is here and fall is right around the corner, so they say. But you know what else is right around the corner? Your family-owned and operated dealer, Arlington Toyota. Right now, Arlington's got 500 new Toyotas available, and you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your new Toyota purchase. Arlington's even got 400 used ready to test drive and take home today. And Arlington's 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop in person and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
It's Jay with Rhino Shield. In over 20 years of protecting stucco homes, we've never had a 40% off sale. So here it is. Call us now to save 40%.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
For seniors, staying healthy can be complicated, but one of the easiest routes to good health is prevention. No matter what our community's current COVID-19 infection rates are, getting your booster shot now is a smart way to protect yourself from severe illness later. ElderSource encourages people 65 and up to get a safe, free COVID-19 booster. For more information, visit myeldersource.org or call the ElderSource helpline at 888-242-4464.
Is your digital marketing strategy keeping you up at night? Do you have more questions than answers? CMG Local Solutions can help you take all the guesswork out of digital marketing. Let CMG Local Solutions create the best marketing plan for your global, regional, or local business. CMG Local Solutions has the right tools to fit your business's marketing needs.
Learn more at cmglocalsolutions.com/Jacksonville. That's cmglocalsolutions.com/Jacksonville.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton rolls on for just a bit longer. On Overreaction Monday, on Victory Monday, right here in Jacksonville, the Jags shut out the Indianapolis Colts. You know by now, we celebrate until Wednesday, and then it's next week Wednesday, which is a horrible title for the Wednesday because it's technically this week Wednesday, but we're just getting over Victory Monday, and then Hangover Tuesday, next week Wednesday, and then we're into Thirsty Thursday and Championship Belt Fridays. You know what I'm saying? So it's a busy week on ESPN 690, as it is, well, every single week, because we got a lot of stuff going on. Brian Middleton, we got some time before Monday Night Football. We got to start bench remove or what?
We do have start bench remove Casey Kurtz. Casey Kurtz, as always, the routine goes. You need the rules?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you 3 options.
You got excited there. You're like, oh.
No. I was just always prepared.
Okay.
Give you 3 options.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to start the one that you think is the best out of the 3, the one that you can't live without, the one that the world can't live without. Your bench, the one that you feel is very close to starting, but not quite as nice as the one that you started. And then the one you remove, you think is complete trash. Like the family tree's trash, like get rid of everything that they're involved with, okay?
Yeah.
From their team, potentially, to maybe if it's not about sports, the whole organization.
I'll do what has to be done.
You're a good GM. You're cold and heartless.
Let's do it.
All right. First up, Casey Kurtz. Most impressive performance. You got Lamar Jackson. We went over that. 300-plus yards passing, 100-plus yards rushing, 4 total TDs. Tua, I'm not going to say his last name because I always chop it up. 470 yards passing, 6 TDs. Or Lions receiver, I'm always going to chop his name up too, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, Amon-Ra.
Did you Amon-Ra? Okay, I'm sorry. 2 carries, 68 yards, right? He's wide receiver though.
Yes,
that's
he
nice.
is a wide receiver.
Yeah, 9 receptions, 116 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw Amon-Ra. He doing it on my fantasy team. I'd love to
you got
start
him on
him.
your fantasy team?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to start him. I love this guy. I can't explain to you. I mean, he's great. But, you know, I got to show my love to the quarterback position. And I hope Aaron Schachter's listening because I got to start Tua. I got to start Tua Tagovailoa. 6 touchdown passes.
Wow.
Y'all disrespected him all offseason.
Wow.
6?
Wow.
28 points in the fourth quarter, I believe it was.
Wow.
Come on. Come on.
Wow.
Tua brought his team back from the depths. Wow. We got to give Tua some love when he deserves it. Bench Lamar and get rid of Amon-Ra, unfortunately.
Wow.
What else we got?
Yeah. Next up, man. Moneymakers. These guys are some of the highest paid in their respective sports. Okay? NFL, Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
$50 million.
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe. 50 million pounds, which equals out to about $57 million.
Yep.
And then Steph Curry at $48 million. Which one you starting? Which one you benching? Which one are you removing from the face
I know
of
which
the
one
earth?
I'm removing.
Oh,
Trust
really?
me, I know.
Okay.
A lot of good quarterbacks right now, so I'm gonna start Steph Curry all day.
Okay.
I will bench Aaron Rodgers. I'll give him the respect.
Wow.
Listen,
that's mature.
Kylian Mbappe is so overrated.
Really?
So overrated.
Why'd he get that big old contract then? Because I was over here trying to read.
Do you want the truth? He plays for PSG and he's from France. They love the hometown. They can't let him go. He wanted to go. He said, Real Madrid's calling my name. They said, nah, we'll give you the bag. We'll give you the bag. You stay right here in France. So overrated. So overrated.
Wow.
I said what I said. He's on the cover of FIFA for like the 3rd straight year.
Nah, he can't be that overrated.
Oh, he is.
On the cover of FIFA?
Oh, he is. Trust me.
Okay.
PSG talk.
Casey
Reaction
Kurtz.
Monday.
I didn't think that you were going to knock the soccer guy out.
Oh, yeah, we had to get rid of him.
Wow. Next thing, sure thing.
You
Casey-
put Erling Haaland in there, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Anyway, go
I
ahead.
didn't do enough research to get that deep into it. Sure thing. All right. These wideouts have the 4 highest reception yards after week 1. I mean, week 2, barring whatever happens on Monday Night Football. Okay.
Sure.
We got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, Christian Kirk. You're cutting 2 of them, Casey Kirk.
I'm cutting 2 of them?
Yeah, you're removing from the face of the earth 2 of these 4.
Not a problem. We'll start Christian Kirk. Not a problem there.
I like that.
Christian Kirk always open. Right here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, there
the
we go.
guy, I said it earlier, you got Jimmy Smith, you got Keenan McCardell, and you
Yep.
got Christian Kirk. I stand by the statement.
Yeah.
Who else we got? Cooper Kupp, Hill, and Waddle. Ooh. Bench Cooper Kupp. Just move on.
All the love to Tua,
Yeah.
none of the love to the receiver. Okay.
It's messed up. I know it is. I love Jalen Waddle, too.
Surprising starts, Casey Kurtz.
What do we got?
The Giants at 2-0, the
That is
Jets at
surprising.
1-1, or the Bengals at 0-2.
Let's start the Giants. I mean, come on. You know, nobody expected them to beat Tennessee. Carolina, maybe. Not Tennessee. Daniel Jones said, all right, we cooking. We cooking. Kenny Golladay said, we quitting. We quitting, because Kenny Golladay is gone. Apparently, it was MIA after the game. I will start the Giants because it's surprising. And you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I'm thinking. I'll bench the Bengals.
Okay.
Because I do not think the Bengals are starting 0-2.
All right.
That surprises me greatly. Jets, you know, we got to get rid of them. The Jets got to go. Like, you beat Cleveland, and you needed, like, a miracle to do it. Like, listen, Aaron's gone, so we can talk about the Jets. Like, the Browns ain't that good. Especially not without Deshaun.
Here we go.
They might not be good with him either. Good for Garrett Wilson, though. My man was feasting on my DFS. What else we got quickly?
Last one, Casey Kurtz. Comebacks. The Jets come back, 13 down with 90 seconds left. Miami, 21 down, start the 4th, or the Cardinals down 20 halfway through the 3rd while being shut out on the road.
Yeah, I'll start the Cardinals. I hate to do it,
There you
but
go.
yeah, hostile environment. The Raiders really took their foot off the gas, I think. I think the last play was incomplete as well. That ball was definitely moving for A.J. Green. Heck of a throw by Kyler Murray. He's about to get outplayed by Kirk Cousins tonight, but it's a great throw to get it in there. A.J. Green's got to make the catch. They said he did, but like, go back and watch it, folks. But still, great comeback. Who else we got? Jets and who?
Yeah, the Jets.
Then we got one other one. The Dolphins.
My
Yeah,
bad, I
I'll
thought
bench
you
the
already
Dolphins.
benched them.
I'll bench the
Okay, my
Dolphins.
bad.
And then Jets again. So yeah.
Aaron Schachter on line 1. That's it for Start Bench Remove.
That is
Casey.
it for Start Bench Remove. We got the Titans. We got the Bills coming up right here. Monday Night Football. Brian Middleton, who you picking to win this one? Buffalo? Is it that simple?
Buffalo.
Then how about this one? The second Monday night game. The Minnesota Vikings. I think it's the game of the week, by the way. The Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, man, that's going to be tough.
Who are you riding with?
But since Philly has a better QB, I got to go with his quarterback league. Going with the Eagles.
You wild.
But Jefferson going to cook. Jefferson going to cook.
I'm so excited to see the game. I think these are two really good teams with two really good weapons. Give me Minnesota. Give me Minnesota, even though I like the Eagles a lot, Brian Middleton.
Yeah, you do.
You got anybody left in fantasy? Oh, you do. How didn't we talk about this all day? We got a lot on this.
Okay.
You got Dalvin Cook against me.
Yeah.
And I'm up like 11 or 12.
There you go.
I'm in trouble.
Maybe.
I'm in trouble tonight. Captain Kirk, please sling it around the yard a little bit. We got to get out of here. Monday Night Football is up next. For Brian Middleton, I'm Casey Kurtz. Have a great night, everybody.
Who's monitoring your security system? Do you even know? What if I told